Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima. Have you ever had any really bad ideas? Because I sure have. About, I don't know, 2 years ago, I came up with the idea that maybe doing a PlayStation Vita focused YouTube channel would be a sustainable idea, but 10,000 subscribers and 1.3 million video views later, I've been proven completely and utterly wrong in that respect. So, I just wanted to say thank you all for subscribing, thank you all for checking out all my content. Yeah, I never thought this would get anywhere near as far as it did, and that kind of makes me happy. But anyway, after 2 years, I'm still having really bad ideas. I needed a way to celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers. And I was originally planning to do this video at the end of September, or at least somewhere where there wouldn't be like 5 games coming out at the end of the week. But I just figured now is a better time than any. It'll draw the most attention and it'll make me look like a savant. Unfortunately, this video won't be very interesting visually, so if you're going to watch this all the way through, I commend you, but please don't. It's going to be a full going through and summarizing every single game in the North American PlayStation Vita store that I can possibly muster. This is going to be a long one, people. Strap yourselves in. No time like the present, so let's go. We'll start with A through D. Amen and Amen 2. Well, these ones are kind of difficult right off the bat. These guys are actually fairly generous. They do offer a free demo of at least the first Amen. Yeah, this one will be free because I got a press copy of it. These games are basically, you go through a series of two-dimensional levels and you control a series of troopers, each with different abilities, and you try and kill off all the enemies and try and get all the troopers to the exit. And of course, the more you do, the better you do, the better scores you get, and stuff like that. I can't remember exactly how it works because I haven't played the game in ages. I personally couldn't get on with them. I thought they were a bit too messy. I thought they were a bit too clunky. They just didn't feel right. I didn't enjoy them very much. There is a free demo of Amen 1, and I actually played the Japanese version of this demo, and I thought it was pretty crap then too. So, yeah, it's a good effort, but I mean, they didn't really fix many of the mistakes they made, in my opinion, in the first Amen compared to the second one. So, I did not mean to do that. Up next, Arbs Animals. Arbs Animals is a tech demo and nothing else. It is basically an augmented reality cat simulator where you just put a bunch of fairly cute kittens on any surface you please with the Vita camera and watch them do stuff. Literally, if you buy that game and let it rest for about 5 minutes on any scene you like, you'll get 3 gold trophies. That's not a lie. That is basically trophy hunting heaven. Age of Zombies. This one is actually really good. It's by Half Brick Studios and ported by Blitworks. And Half Brick Studios are behind a lot of games, including Jetpack Joyride, and I believe they also did Fruit Ninja. Age of Zombies is a twin-stick shooter with Barry Steak Fries. Pretty sure it's the exact same guy who's in Jetpack Joyride as well. And there is a lot of zombies, and different weapons, and lots of levels, and a fair amount of content. And high scoreboards, you know, it's pretty basic, but at the same time, it's 40 meg and it's $5, and it's a really good port. The game controls really well, it looks really nice, and it doesn't really drop in performance. So, you know, I recommend it, I really do. Alien Breed. Alien Breed. I played this, and I somewhat enjoyed it, but it's kind of ruined by the fact that you can buy the game's in-game currency and with real-world money, and then use it to buy supplies and stuff like that. Kind of takes away from the whole horror side of Alien Breed that I liked so much. There was also what would you call it? A remaster-ish of the game, and it kind of doesn't work because it makes the shooting controls much worse and really kind of takes away from the original feel that they had going for the game. There's also a version on PlayStation Mobile, which is much cheaper, but doesn't include everything right off the bat. Meanwhile, this version does. I wouldn't outright recommend it, maybe to people who played the game before, but, you know, it's probably safely worth ignoring. I really need to stop playing with the cursor, but I can't help it. Angry Birds Star Wars. I haven't played this, but for, God, $22.50, I'm still not paying that. Fucking hell. But, yeah, this is apparently a very low quality and quantity port. Apparently there's not that many levels in it. And by the end levels, at least judging by the Vita Lounge review, by the end levels, the game actually starts lagging. I don't know how badly you can fuck up a port of Angry Birds Star Wars to make it lag, but there you go. Angry Birds Trilogy is about the same, but it doesn't lag as much, although it does include a fair amount of levels. It includes everything from Seasons and, what was that other one? Oh yeah, Rio. Includes everything from Seasons and Rio and Classics, so, you know, you'll at least be entertained by it. But again, it's still $30. Are you really going to pay $30 for 3 games you can get for like 2 on iOS or free on the App Store? I don't think so. Another World, 20th Anniversary Edition. I actually really liked it, all things considered. I mean, I didn't think I'd actually like it because of the fact that it's like an old school adventure game, but I actually did like it a fair bit. I liked the way it told its story. The remastered graphics don't feel like a waste of time, unbelievably, and there are a couple of difficult elements to it, and the game is very short, but thankfully the game does, you know, kind of protect itself from the sort of errors that you might make, because it kind of sets the checkpoints in a way that mean if you miss something important, you're not going to be allowed to go much further. So, you know, it's not that bad. And would I recommend it? Probably. You know, if you've never played it, or if you want to play it. It's like an hour long, though. So, you know, be careful of that. Army Corps of Hell. Take Pikmin and add a metal skin to it, and you get this game. It's not terrible, but it's not $40 to buy it immediately. It's a fairly repetitive game, and it can go on for quite a while. But if you can pick it up for $10 to $20, I can say go for it. It is basically just build up a few enemies and charge them at the enemy. There is a bit more strategy to it than that, but I haven't played the game in ages. Like, I don't even own it on PSN. I bought a physical copy from Amazon like ages ago, and yeah, that didn't go very well. Asphalt Injection. If you can get this game for like $5, you might as well, but for $27, goddamn, no way. That sounds like a price you'd put on something on an Australian game or something. It is a arcade racer, but it is like the most generic and the most, I'm not going to say unpolished, but it's got that feel to it where they didn't put all the effort they could into it. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It is fun. I'll give it that. It is fun to play, at least for a while, until the difficulty really ramps up, but yeah, you might want to try out the demo first. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This is the only game that I seem to really not get on with that a lot of people really liked. Basically, it is a tiny version of an Assassin's Creed game. It's got pretty big hub worlds, and it does have a lot of the features of Assassin's Creed games, like doing stealth takedowns and the combat and searching for collectibles and all that. But unfortunately, there's the one like element that ties the entire game together, which is the persona system. I absolutely hate it. It takes away time from being an actual assassin, and I hate it so much, and I think the whole game suffers for it. There's also the fact that the story isn't that interesting, at least to me, and there's a lot of bugs and glitches. Like, the very first time I played through Liberation, I took screenshots every time there was a bug. I ended up with like 3 dozen before I quit the game, so you know. Marumu Rorona and Totori Plus. These are all part of a singular trilogy, the Island Trilogy. The games are basic RPGs where you wander around overworlds gathering items and ingredients, and you fuse them together in order to make things like any sort of equipment you might want to use, or in the case of in the case of all the games actually, items in order to satisfy requests for people. And it is a very fun and engaging game series. I've played a little bit of Totori, and I did a video on Maruru, and seriously, it's just a lot of fun to figure out what you need to do, figure out where you need to go to get all the ingredients you need, and it's just enjoyable. It's really enjoyable to play through the games, and the stories are cutesy anime style, but seriously, I don't really give a crap. It's done really well. Atomic Ninjas. Oh yeah, you should buy, like, every game in the Island trilogy, all 3 of them, because they're that good. Atomic Ninjas. It's a 2D multiplayer platforming game where you knock around other ninjas using physics objects like boxes and shurikens and stuff like that. And all the ninjas are invincible, and you have to knock them into things like instant death traps in order to successfully gain points. And there's a lot of different modes, and it works online, and I really like it a lot. And I'm pretty sure you can get the Vita version for like... No, you can't, but you used to be able to get it for like $3, and, you know, that was well worth it. And I still think it's worth it at $10, but try and get some friends in at the same time, otherwise you're probably not going to have that fun of a time. The bots are okay, it's just... They're able to fly everywhere, and they don't act like humans very often. So, you know, if you want to play against actual humans, get some actual human friends. But seriously, Atomic Ninjas is really fun, and you should all at least give it a look. It's got a free demo, so you can try that. I just needed a drink there, thank you. Backgammon Blitz. Backgammon Blitz is backgammon, but it has this really weird secondary mode where you level up over games of backgammon, and it unlocks pickups and power-ups, I should say, for you to use, which you buy by winning games of backgammon. And it kind of feels like it's kind of unbalanced because the really high-level power-ups are actually really powerful, so if you meet anyone online who's got a few of them unlocked, you're basically fucked. It works okay, but the performance isn't that good. It kind of lags, especially if you're looking at the entire game board. So, you know, I wouldn't outright recommend it, but again, this one has a demo too, so you might as well check that out. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Imagine if you took the Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City games and put them on a 2D perspective. I actually kind of liked the game when I played it through the first time, and basically, you go through Blackgate Prison, and you go through with the help of Catwoman, and you find several minions to beat up, and you find puzzles to solve, and you navigate with a really confusing map. But it's a good game. I mean, some people really didn't like it. I thought it was really good, but I said in my video of this game that you want to wait for it to drop to about $20, and then it's a really good purchase. And it's $20 right now, or at least it looks like it's been permanently dropped to this price. So, you know, pick it up. I really do like it, and for that price, it probably is worth it. Ben 10 Galactic Racing. This is like one of the only games I haven't played. Yeah, this game just kept dropping in price and dropping in price and dropping in price, and I really should check it out. It's like $10, so it's not like you got much to lose. And the game's rating is 4.2 for 138 ratings. I mean, it must not be that bad at the very least. But anyway, moving swiftly along, Bentley's Hack Pack. Bentley's Hack Pack is a collection of 4 minigames from Sly Cooper, but brought out into their own game and expanded on concept a bit. There's a fair amount to do, like the 4 was it 4 or 6? 4 or 6 minigames. Just let me have a look at the description. No, it only says several and addictive. Oh, wait. Oh, it's only 3? Oh, well, still, there's like 20-something levels for each of them. One of them is a bloody accelerometer game, and I absolutely hate accelerometer games, but other than that, it's kind of an interesting pack, and it will keep you entertained for at least a little bit, and for $3, there's not much else you can ask for, really. Big Sky Infinity. I love Really Big Sky on PC, and Big Sky Infinity is basically a port of Really Big Sky. Get it. I love it. I think it's great. And there's a demo you can try too. It gets a little bit repetitive after a while, and there is in-game microtransactions, but seriously, it's not really that important, and I enjoy the game a ton, so please check it out if you can. BitTrip presents Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. This is one of the best endless, well, not endless runner, but it's one of the best runner games I've ever played. basically, you're an alien, and you run across these really big stages with lots of different enemies and obstacles. It looks fantastic. Like, let's see if we can load up some of the screenshots here. It looks fantastic. Like, all of these environments moving in 3D just looks absolutely amazing. And there's lots of different characters. Unfortunately, they don't really have that much different to them, but, you know, if you want to play as the guy from Spelunky, or if you want to play as the robot from Machinarium, you can. And it's a really, really fun time, and thankfully there's actually an easy mode. So people like me who suck at reaction games can go ahead and just play it and just play it easily. So, you know, go that. So, BlazBlue Continual Shift Extend. This was one of my top 5 games on Vita before Chrono Phantasma came out. It is a 2D fighting game which is really, really beautiful and is focused a lot on special moves, flashiness, and combos, but there is also some real strategy and depth to it. The story mode goes for fucking ages, and it has a lot of backstory behind it, so, you know, if you try and jump in here, you might get a little bit confused, but thankfully they do include at least minor summaries, but it's kind of still really confusing. And there's a lot of story content, there's a couple of single-player modes. Multiplayer is probably dead at this point, same with Chrono Phantasma, which is a shame, but, you know, if you can get a few friends to pick it up. Like, seriously, if you're on the fence about a BlazBlue game, $15 right now, I really can't argue with that price. There's a lot of content in that game for $15. Chrono Phantasma is basically the same 2D fighting game, but with a new story and a bunch of new characters, and it has a couple of mechanics taken out, but they were really, like, you know, needless mechanics and a couple of new ones put in. And it is really basically just a more improved version of Continual Shift Extend. So, you know, please pick it up. If you like Continual Shift Extend from what you play of it for $15, pick up Chrono Phantasma. Please support that studio. Maybe we'll get Persona 4 Arena Ultimax one day. Borderlands 2! Oh god. The best I can say about this game is that it's playable, and that's about it. It's got a lot of different bugs going for it. The performance drops. The textures aren't very good looking. Most of the effects are missing. A lot of people actually railed on me for leveling that opinion, but I'm like, fuck you, buddy. All the freaking effects that made the PC version and the Xbox 360 version look gorgeous just don't exist here. I loved looking at all the effects happen on screen. Some people complain about the enemy limit, but strangely enough, like, later on in the game, they actually removed it. Like, in the DLC, like, the first DLC pack, not, Mr. Talk's Campaign of Carnage, but the other one, Captain Skull and the Pirate's Booty, was it? I don't know. But yeah, in that DLC, it actually removed the enemy limit entirely. You'd be going up against six or seven enemies once. It was kind of insane, especially when the frame rate would drop to, like, sub 10. But yeah, you know, if you want to play Borderlands 2 on the go, that's your only option, but keep in mind, it is a pretty buggy experience. Break Quest Extra Evolution. This is a updated version of a mini Pong game, and it's a very sophisticated looking Pong game, but it's basically the same thing. Just find the interactive elements and destroy all the interactive elements. I managed to play through this entire game without requiring to buy a single extra ball, so, you know, if I can do it, so can you. But there is a bonus level which is really fucking hard and made me delete the game in rage. It's free and it's like 120 meg, you know, it's worth checking out. Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. I really wanted to do a video on this, but I just never got the opportunity. I actually asked for a press code, but I didn't get one. So I had to buy it, and unfortunately there was more stuff that just took priority, and by the time I had time to do a video on this, another set of games had come out and it just kind of fell by the wayside. It's a beautiful looking, really well acted, really well scripted, not RPG, a point and click adventure, and like, these screenshots do not do it justice. This game is absolutely beautiful in motion. You know, maybe if I actually get bored, I might go back and edit game. I probably won't. This is going to be a really long video. I'm already at 20 minutes, and I'm not even at letter C yet. But yeah, the game looks absolutely terrific in motion, and I love the acting. Like, I'd be swapping back and forth between English and French voice acting. And it was just, like, it's an incredible point-and-click experience, and I hope we get the second episode soon. It's already out in Europe, so I really do hope we get episode 2. Burn the Rope. This is a port from a mobile game where you literally just have to pick the right area of a rope to start burning to burn all the bugs in the rope off. It's not too terrible, and if you're looking for a simple puzzle game, this might be worth picking up. It's only $5. You haven't got much to lose. Call of Duty... Focus, man. Focus. Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. Now, the single player was terrible, and the survival mode was terrible, but the multiplayer wasn't actually that bad if you had your Vita on a demilitarized zone, which means that if you set your router up correctly, every single port on your Vita is opened up. I never had any multiplayer problems once I did that. But a lot of people didn't even try to, like, open ports on their Vita, and they all think that the game sucks because of it. Like Jeff Gersman, I don't want to rail on him specifically because a lot of people had this problem, but I always thought Jeff Gersman would be smart enough to try and open all his ports before complaining about a game's multiplayer issues. But apparently he didn't. Cannibalt, that's a mini, we're going to ignore that. Castle Storm, made by Zen Studios. I really like this. It's a fun game where you build your own castle out of lots of specific bits, and then you go up against enemy castles with a variety of different weaponry that you can upgrade throughout a campaign, and there's a lot of different content, and there's a couple of single-player add-ons too, which are worth the money to buy, and I do recommend this game entirely. Really, really good game. And I actually have the complete edition. But, well, at least I should. I'm not sure why I can't download it from here. This happens a few times. Cell Damage HD. It's a fun game. It's a remake, or no, more like a remaster of a 2001 or 2002 Xbox and GameCube game, where you go around and you beat the crap out of other vehicles with a series of cool weapons, and it kind of feels like it's unfocused, because most of the main modes don't actually really work with how the game works. The Battle Royale mode is the best mode of the entire game. Unfortunately, the Vita version is the only version which doesn't have online multiplayer. The PS3 and PS4 versions have online multiplayer, and that kind of annoys me, and it kind of makes me say, don't buy it just for the Vita version. If you have a PS4... Well, no, I don't think the PS4 and PS3 versions have online multiplayer. They have local multiplayer, but not online multiplayer, at least if I remember this correctly. Cell Damage has neither on Vita, so don't buy it for just this version. But if you have a PS4 or a PS3 with 2 controllers, well, you know, you'll have some fun playing with friends at the very least. Chrono Volt. Oh, man, this game had so much potential. Basically, it's a kind of a rip-off of Super Monkey Ball, except it controls horribly, the frame rate dips to like 10, and it's not really interesting on top of that. So, you know, don't even bother. This was free on PlayStation Plus when it came out. Like, 2.27 with 2,000 ratings. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what will. Coconut Dodge Revitalized. This was made by Future Lab. It's a remake of one of their minis. And it is a very, very simple game. You navigate a crab through a series of fallen coconuts and gold, and try and collect as much gold as possible. It's a very relaxing game, and I would recommend trying the demo. And if you like the demo, get the game, please. It's only $3. Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars. This is a very interesting game where you go through and basically have children with the bunch of female heroines, and they all turn into party members with their own stats and all that. They call it classmating. And, yeah, I don't know. It's so freaky. But, admittedly, the amount of time I spent with this game, I actually did enjoy it, at least a bit. The humor is a bit childish, you know? It's that sort of, you know... A lot of people would say a 12-year-old would find this funny. That's not giving 12-year-olds enough credit. And that's also not giving me enough credit, because, you know, I'm kind of a pervert, and I do quite enjoy good old Conception 2 sometimes. But it is a bit of a slog. People going in expecting like a Persona 4 like follow-up will be pretty disappointed. But to be fair on Conception 2, it's a good time if you just sit back and enjoy yourself. If you're a little bit strung up about fan service and all that, you're not going to like it very much. Crazy Market. This is by the Game Italia, the people who made Flying Hamster, and I actually really like Flying Hamster, but we'll get onto that. Crazy Market is a game where you have to move items over a scanner, and then you have to put them back on the scanner. I know, it sounds really freaking weird. It's a free-to-play game, and it's a fun game. It's kind of hard to describe, but you can actually scan babies and then let them fall off the till. It's kind of hilarious. But, yeah. It's a fun game, and you should at least check out the free-to-play version. And there... Is that the infinite lives? Yeah, remove the infinite limitation. Yeah, so if you want to play the game, like, as much as you like, it's $3. So, you know, it's got a free, really good demo, and it's also got a $3 unlock everything thing. So, you know, that's really, really good. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. I'm really looking forward to Danganronpa 2. If that doesn't tell you what I think of Danganronpa, nothing will. Danganronpa is like if you combine Zero Escape and Ace Attorney. It's a investigative game where you go through and you investigate crimes by going through and going through areas of this school that everybody's trapped in, and you have to try and find who killed the person. And you have to figure out, you have to put people on, you have to go to a trial, and you have to figure it out through all the evidence you're presented with. It's pretty linear one way. You can't go to the trial without finding all the clues. And thankfully, you're prompted to where most of the clues are. So it is a fairly easy game, all things considered. But it's got a lot of stuff in the background too. Like you can talk to your classmates to learn more about them, and you can give them gifts and stuff like that. And there's this huge mode that opens up at the very end of the game that you can play through as well, and it's got a lot of content behind it. Like, the main story goes for like 20 hours, so I absolutely recommend it. I really do. Please go buy it. Dead Nation. It's a relatively good port, all things considered. I do quite enjoy the game, but it's really hard to play on the Vita's analog sticks because they're so small. It kind of makes it hard to aim, and you're kind of twitching your aim back and forth all the time because it's kind of hard to aim precisely. So, but to be fair, they did the best they could with what they had, and it's a good version. It really is. So, you know, pick it up if you like these sorts of games. Some guy actually asked me what zombie game you would recommend on the Vita, and I'm like, that kind of slipped my mind. I'll have to say that to him next time. Dead or Alive 5 Plus, a really good fighter from Tecmo Koei, runs at 60 FPS all the time. Looks really, really nice. Unfortunately, they did not update this version with the ultimate content, and they probably never will, which is really, really depressing. But at least the online servers are still up, and it's got a really simple control system, and it's a really nice fighter to look at, even when it's running at 60 FPS. And yeah, the titillation is off the charts, but still, I quite like it. And look, it's only 20 bucks. It's only 20 bucks. I really like it. And the demo is really, really generous. It lets you play through all the single-player modes except the story with 4 of, like, the 20 playable characters. So you could play the demo for a pretty damn long time before you pick up the actual game. And it actually works online, too. I swear that's true. With those 4 characters, you can play online against anyone who owns the full game. That's great. I love it. And to be fair, just for the business practice of offering a really generous demo, I would recommend you'd buy that net just outright, because they deserve it for putting up a demo that good. Demon Gaze. A really good, but really difficult sometimes dungeon RPG. It can really kick you in the ass with difficulty spikes at times, but it's got a cool set of original systems, like the demon summoning, where you can summon demons that have effects on the entire party, like give you a lot of extra defense or offense. You can you can make your own party members. You make your own party members, and they all have their own special effects. You can punch catgirls in the face. I swear that's true. Look up a video called Meouch, and it's still entertaining. Like, the story is pretty damn lighthearted and entertaining, and there's this really cool system where you collect gems in order to grind loot and experience, and it's a really, really cool system. I did a video on it which explains this more in detail, and I would recommend this. It's actually a pretty good RPG because you can put the difficulty down to, like, nothing. So, it is a fairly good start, at least for people looking for a decent game in the Dungeon Crawler series. Destiny is Spirits. Destiny is Spirits. What do I have to say about it? Has a lot of technical issues, and I don't know if they've been sorted out yet. Destiny of Spirits is a free-to-play game, which is kind of like it's on mobile, where you work on a specific team of spirits to go around the earth and destroy a lot of different spirits, and then you can take them, like, into raid events and stuff like that to work your way up a tower of people and such. I've heard that the game gets really boring after you complete all the world content, and the raid towers are just all that's left, so all you have left is to work your way up a tower once or twice, and there are a lot of technical issues, like it goes down a lot, but they give out a lot of, like, free paid experience, paid currency for that, I should say. So, you know, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. It's free, try it out, it's not terrible, definitely not terrible, but there are a lot of technical issues, and you may want to stay wary of them. Die, die, die. This game is boring as shit. That's all I've got to say about it. You're a syringe, and you have to try and protect your, I don't know, your veins from your immune system completely failing at its job. And the game is boring as hell, even when there's a ton of enemies on screen at once. It's just you fire so slowly, and everything has so little effect. It's not fun. It really isn't. I just avoid it outright. Disgaea 3, Absence of Detention. Yeah, this game, it's kind of crazy. It's a strategy RPG, an isometric strategy RPG, with a ton of just wacky humor, self-referential humor, and running jokes, and a really, really number-crunchy, statistically deep RPG experience on top of that. So, I would... maybe, I'm enjoying Disgaea 4 a lot more than I enjoyed Disgaea 3, but I only played Disgaea 3 for an hour, and I've played Disgaea 4 for like 10 hours at this point. So, you know, it might be best to wait for Disgaea 4, especially since they're still charging full price for 3. So, you know, I'll let you make the choice there. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. This is one of the games I haven't played, unfortunately, so I can't really give you any opinions on it. Although I heard that the port itself is okay, it's just it drops frames a lot. So, you know, I've heard it doesn't really affect the game that badly, but yeah, I can't really give you any opinion on that, sorry. You know, if you want to play Epic Mickey 2 on the go, there you go. Dive Kick. I really, really like Dive Kick. It is really as simple as that. You have two buttons, a jump and a kick, and you have to combine them together with all the different characters who all have their own gimmicks in order to beat the opponent out. It's a game of pure, simple strategy. And a lot of people call it not a game, and I'm like, get your head out of your ass, you dickheads. It is a enjoyable game, like, no matter what anybody says, and I do think it's great. Unfortunately, the online is pretty much dead, and that full game, 486 meg, that's a lie. The patch of the game increases at double the size, and they never fix the size. So, yeah, so, you know, if you've got a gig free and you're willing to spend 10 bucks to check it out, you can, but remember, you might not find that many people online. Just see if you can get a friend or two. DJ Max Technica Tune, like the second most expensive game on the Vita store. This game is a touch-based rhythm game where a line slowly scrolls clockwise over the screen, or you can change it to scroll any other way. And it is a good game. It's just, it's kind of hard to play, like, portably. You have to put it down and use both your hands in order to really get a good experience out of it. But it is still a really good game, and I really do recommend it to anybody who's willing to spend 45 bucks on it. You know, if you're looking for a good rhythm game, this is pretty damn good. There's, if you're looking for a button version, there's DJ Max Portable 3 on PSP, but it costs just about as much. And yeah, and then if you're willing to go on PlayStation Mobile, there's also Sidus Lambda, which works on a very similar concept, but it's a lot cheaper and has a couple extra songs in it. So, you know, take of that what you will, but then again, I do recommend DJ Max and Sidus Lambda. They're both really good games. Doctor Who: The Eternity Clock. Haven't played it. Sorry, can't really tell you much about it, but I've heard that it's relatively subpar. But, you know, it's 10 bucks, but I've never seen it go on sale, so you never know. Doki Doki Universe. This is a really weird game. You go around these different sorts of planets, meeting all these different people, and trying to solve their problems by learning stuff about them, and giving them stuff that they like. It's a very weird game, and it also tells you a lot about yourself while you're playing. It gives you some sort of it gives you a lot of personality quizzes, and you go through these personality quizzes, and yeah, it's a weird game, and it's got a free demo, which includes like the first planet, so you know, check that out. It is worth a look, because it's really hard to describe. I did do a video on it, if you want to go look that up, but yeah. Dokuro! I must be the only person who really didn't like this game. Well, I thought it was okay at the very least, but I didn't like it that much. It's a puzzle platformer where you have to go through all sorts of different puzzles with different abilities and, you know, try and save a princess using physics puzzles and all that. It's okay. I mean, it's $3. How much you got to lose by getting it these days? Sorry, I really needed that drink. Doodle Devil and Doodle God. You know those alchemy games where you take two elements, put them together, and it makes another element, and then you just make elements until you get to like 100 or something? Yeah, that's what these games basically are. And Doodle God has a free demo, so go play that before you put any money down. Dragon Ball Z Battle Z. This is a 4-on-4 team battle game where you can play as the characters from the show. All the characters are separated into their own specific classes, including cross-classes. And we originally thought we weren't going to get the DLC, but we eventually did. So, you know, thanks for that, Namco. We didn't think you were going to do that for us. But yeah, it's, the battles are actually pretty hectic. It can get pretty damn hard at times. I had to get help getting through the cell fights. But it goes over the story of the Dragon Ball Z, and it also has a bunch of what-if scenarios, and there is online combat, which works pretty damn well. I mean, I was playing with people in America, and I was getting lag issues, but I can usually tell when a netcode of a game will work really well if you're up close and personal with the people you're playing it with, and that works just fine. So, you know, I do recommend it, and it's $30, so you haven't got that much to lose. But if you're not a fan of Dragon Ball Z, you're probably not going to understand what's going on in the story, just so you know. But it is still a pretty fun game nonetheless. Dragon Fantasy Book 1 and 2. These are retro-style RPGs. Dragon Fantasy Book 1's in the style of Final Fantasy, and I think Dragon Fantasy Book 2 wanted to do a... I really can't tell you exactly what this game is based off, but yeah. Back when I originally played these, Dragon Fantasy Book 1, I found myself getting bored with it really quickly, and Dragon Fantasy Book 2 was buggy as shit. But as far as I'm aware, Dragon Fantasy Book 2 has been patched up to relieve a few of these issues. Also, be warned, these games really are pretty damn old school. Like Dragon Fantasy Book 1, if you leave the game for a month and come back and you forget where you are, tough shit. You're not going to be given any sort of prompt as to what you need to do next. So, you know, be very, very careful. These are very old school RPGs, and, you know, the old school RPG level will like them. Dragon's Crown. Free on PlayStation Plus right now. So if you're watching this video around the time I have 10,000 subscribers, go and get this game. Fucking hell, what are you doing? But if you aren't watching around that time, it is a 2D beat-em-up that is a Diablo clone on top of that. So you beat up a ton of enemies, get a bunch of treasure, beat up a bunch of bosses, and it is a very, very beautiful game, and the loot chain keeps you coming back, and there is a ton of content on top, and they patched it with a lot of stuff. Like, they patched it with the ability to, break the level cap and go to level, like, 999, I think it was. Considering the level cap was originally, like, 100 or 200, they have been really generous with adding lots of extra stuff to it. So, you know, go and get it. I absolutely recommend it. I love it. Draw Slasher is really weird. You control it through the touchscreen alone, if I remember correctly, that is. And you have to go through and just slash a bunch of enemies on the screen. And yeah, there's a lot of different enemies with all sorts of different attacks. But it doesn't really feel that precise, and that makes me not like it very much. It's just a bit dull after a while, and I don't really see myself playing it for that long. For $6 might be a bit much. If it goes on sale for under $5, you haven't got that much to lose. Dungeon Hunter Alliance. This is basically the only Diablo clone we've got, because Lair or Warrior's Lair or whatever it was before got cancelled, so this is pretty much all we've got. It's a relatively generic dungeon crawling RPG, and the performance does drop a bit, but it does have that loot going for it. And it does have a free demo, so, you know, if you want to check it out, go right ahead. Dust Force. A lot of people complained about this game because when it came out, it had some pretty bad... Well, it didn't have some pretty bad lag issues, but when a lot of stuff started happening on screen at once, it was like... It kind of got hectic and it kind of dropped the frame rate a little bit. And I kind of avoided buying the game for these reasons. But I tried the game out again recently, and it's not actually that bad, to tell you the truth. At least from what I can tell... From what the stages I played, it feels fine. The frame rate drops only come in when there's really nothing you can do to actually go any faster. So it's not like it's a massive problem. I actually kind of enjoy the game now. And they've released 3 free map packs from some of the PC versions maps. Like, people have made maps for the PC version. They ported them over to this version. So, you know... I have actually bought it just for that. You know, supporting a game with free map packs after people have already bought it for $10 is really damn generous. I kind of applaud them for that. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. It's got a ton of fucking DLC. If you like DLC, this is your game. But Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition is a complete port of the version that came out on PS3 and PS4. It is really a complete port. It has all the content, all the movies, all the voice acting, and it has all the stages. And it's got cross-buy with the DLC, but not the actual game. You have to buy the game separately, but all the DLC is cross-buy. Some people complain about the... It's a hack and slasher, right? So you press square, square, triangle, and you kill a lot of enemies. It's a lot more complex than that. I promise you, it's a lot more complex than that. But it does boil down to just pressing a few attack buttons every now and again, a lot of the time. There is a lot of strategy you can use in Dynasty Warriors Extreme Legends, and there's the Ambition mode, which is a really nice, cool mode, and a way to extend the gameplay. And the story is still very entertaining, but again, it can get very repetitive, and it has some performance issues. I feel like they were remedied in the previous patch, but some people say it wasn't. And I can't blame them. There isn't really that much of a difference. But, you know, I still really enjoy the game, and I do recommend it, especially over Dynasty Warriors Next. Dynasty Warriors Next was designed specifically for the Vita. You know what that means. Touchscreen controls. There's a lot of touchscreen minigames in this version of Dynasty Warriors, and I do not like them one bit. It's a pain in the ass. Eventually, just over time, where you come up against a really big officer, and you have to just do a really annoying touch minigame when I prefer just to beat the crap out of them, and it really grinds on your nerves eventually, so, you know. If you have a choice, skip that version, go for Dynasty Warriors 8. It's much better. We'll ignore that. We'll come to Star Quest later on. The Amazing Spider-Man. This is the video that's gotten the most views on my channel. So, you know, if you want to see a really long video of me fucking up on one mission, go right ahead. But this is an open world game. Why are these screenshots in 4x3? These weren't in 4x3 before. I don't fucking know, but it's an open world game where you play as Spider-Man and you take down a few criminals and you get crimes to solve and you beat up enemies, and it's kind of a rip-off of Arkham Asylum, except not as good. But it's not terrible. The performance can be pretty crap outside at times, but again, it's not terrible. It really isn't. And if you can get it for 10 to 20 bucks, it's not terrible. FIFA Soccer, we'll come back to that. Earth Defense Force 2017 Portable. Really, really, really good. And it's been on sale a lot. Like, it's gone down to 10 bucks like twice. So, it is a game where you go through and you shoot lots of gigantic alien insects and bugs and robots with all sorts of ridiculous weaponry, like gigantic rocket launchers. And when you get through the game once, you get to be Powerwing, who has a jetpack and energy weapons. And it's a really fun time, especially if you can get 3 friends together. It's really, really good. Please buy it, especially, and it'll go on sale eventually, I know it will. Equilibrium, I played this game for like 15 minutes, so I can't tell you that much about it, but it's free to play, so who cares? And it's also got a ton of, like, these used to be like 20 bucks, like these down the bottom. Why have they gone to 150? I don't know. Enchanted Cavern's a PSP game, so we're going to ignore that. Is it? Yeah, it's a PSP game, I know it is. Entwined by Sony Computer Entertainment America. I did a video on this. It's like the video I'm the most proud of because I managed to get through the entire game without, the entire video without saying or breaking commentary once. But it's a very iffy game. It has a message that I don't really understand, other than this poor crane and fish just want to bone, but God won't let them. I don't know what his deal is. It's just, it feels like a very sloppily designed game. I don't think anything has any meaning to it, even though it looks like it's trying to. I don't really know. I don't think it's worth the money. Just so you know. Escape Plan. This is an example of how to do post-game release content correctly. They released 3 different packs for charge. They charged for them. But they also released free updates, which fixed every single problem the game had and added some free stuff on top. So they added free content, they added extra content to buy for cheap, and they, like, back when one of these packs came out, they charged 99 cents for it for the first month. And when they play, seriously, it's really, really good post-game support, and it's actually a fairly good game as well. You use the front touchpad, the front touchscreen and the rear touchpad to guide these 2 characters through the game, and there's a lot of different puzzles to solve, and the new puzzle packs add a lot more, and it's a lot of fun, and the fact that they supported it really well after launch gives me, like, no complications in saying, go for it. It's a really good game, and they really deserve to be supported. I wonder what happened to the studio that made that. I don't know. Escape Vector. It's like Pac-Man, but really, really hard. It's, so you go through this game, and you are this little arrow here, and you go through collecting, you go through marking entire mazes, and when you mark an entire maze, you unlock the exit point, and there's a lot of really high difficulty in it, and there's a lot of stuff to avoid and all that. It's very hard, but there's no demo? No demo? No? Well, it's $7. There's not much to lose, and it is a high quality game. It's just really difficult. So, you know, if you're willing to buy it just to check it out and support Nunu, who makes some really good games, especially on 3DS, as far as I've heard, well, you know, please go ahead. Ethan Meteor Hunter. This is a platformer. Unfortunately, it feels really generic. It's a physics-based puzzle platformer. Nothing of which, in particular, really stands out about it. If you're willing to put up with a relatively... Hold on a minute. Yeah, these ones still work fine. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, if you're willing to put up with a relatively generic puzzle platformer, you'll probably have a good time here. There's a fair amount of content in it for $10, but... yeah, it's just generic, and you won't remember much of it after you're done with it. Euphoria HD. I love Euphoria. I think it's fantastic. A lot of people think it's really minimalistic and not worth their time, but I really love Euphoria. I think it's great. You're basically playing a god who controls planets of trees of saplings, which are basically mini spaceships. They all have their own stats, like are they good at taking over planets, are they good at fighting other enemy alien ships, and you send them in between all sorts of different planets, and you try and defeat every enemy that's there, and there's a lot of different levels of content to play, and a lot of challenges, and a lot of pickups to find, and, I mean, if you're not really good at RTS games, this might be something to look at, because this is a very simple game, and it does give you a lot of hints and stuff, so, yeah, I love Euphoria, and I would recommend it. F1 2011, haven't played it, can't tell you anything about it, I'm sorry, but... I've heard it's okay at the very least, and it's $15. You haven't got much to lose. Farming Simulator. Now, Farming Simulator 13 isn't actually here, even though it's out in the American store, which I find a bit odd, but yeah. Farming Simulator is a thing that I don't really understand. It's quite literally what it says on the tin. It is a farming simulator. You have a 3D little area, a little town to go through, and you farm different crops, and you farm different things, and you plant them, and you go and sell the crops, and you go and buy more seeds, and you do stuff like that. It's, for $10, there's a free demo you can try as well, but for $10, it's not bad. Farming Simulator 13 costs $40 and adds absolutely nothing new to the game. So, well, it adds some new stuff, but I mean, it's so minor that it's really, really hard to give a toss about that version. Check out Farming Simulator's demo. Ignore Farming Simulator 14 entirely. Fez, made by Phil Fish. People think he's a douchebag. I actually like the guy. He's not afraid to speak his mind, and Sometimes his words are taken and spun into ways that make him look like a really big douche, and I don't like it. I actually really like the guy. Fez itself is a two-dimensional platformer, except it's not. It works on a series of, it's like a 3D cube. You're on one side of the cube at all times, but if you press L and R, you will swap to another side of the cube, and you're the only character that can do this. And you use this mechanic to find a lot of different hidden things and puzzles and all that. And it's a really, really good game, and I absolutely love it, and I would recommend you all pick it up. And if you're watching this as my 10,000 subscriber special right now, like when I'm at 10,000 subscribers, it's free on PlayStation Plus, so you have no excuse. FIFA, all the FIFA games, they're all clones of each other, so just pick the one that's cheapest. Like FIFA Soccer 13 for 20 bucks, that's not bad. Just pick that one up, ignore the rest. Final Fantasy X and X2 HD Remaster, really good. Good performance, good remake. I actually really like the music, some people don't, I do. Really good game, I do like it a lot. It's fun. And it's 20 bucks right now. So again, if you're watching it in my 10,000 subscriber special when I have 10,000 subscribers, it is worth picking up. It is a really nice remaster, and I do enjoy the actual games. Floating Cloud God Saves the Pilgrims in HD. This is a twin-stick shooter where you go along a linear platforming level protecting the pilgrims from all sorts of threats. And it's really hard. It's got this persistent system where you have to keep them all alive in order to keep all the pilgrims through the levels. And it is really difficult, but it's really satisfying when you get a bunch of them through, and it's less than $5. You ain't got much to lose. Flow. I did not really like Flow, to tell you the truth. It's a weird game. You become a monster, and you go through all these little underwater levels trying to pick up more fish, and you get bigger. And you just keep going. It's a bit of an oddity. It's, yeah, I don't like it that much. It's got a, no, it doesn't have a demo. It just has it has an expansion, but, oh, great. Here we go. We're having server connectivity problems. I wonder if that's because my internet is just fucking up. Probably. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend Flow. Flower. Please load. Anyway, I'll just talk about Flower. Flower is a really abstract game where you fly flower petals through really, really beautiful 3D environments, and you collect as many petals as possible to create just a gigantic, like, show of flowers at the very end. Very pretty, very fun to play, although the accelerometer controls kind of works against it at times. But it's still a really good game. Like, Flow, I don't really get the sit back and watch aspect of it, but Flower, I do. It's really good. I really do recommend it. Flying Hamster HD. This is a twin-stick shooter, although not really twin-stick in the typical sense. You take control of a flying hamster who flies through levels and tries to shoot a lot of things. And every time you get through a level or complete an achievement or something like that, you get an extra life, so you eventually can get through to the end on a lot of extra lives. It's fun. $4, free demo. You know, not much to lose for trying that out. Foosball 2012. This game, I do quite enjoy Foosball 2012, but the AI can be pretty dickish at times. It can save balls from the very brink, meanwhile you don't stand a freaking chance of doing so. And the online multiplayer was dead, like, from launch. You know, if you can get it for under $5, you haven't got that much to lose. It's, yeah. And that's all I got to say about that, really. Football Manager Classic 2014. I did buy this. I bought this, and I tried it out, and to be fair, it was a real, like, look at all this. It's stats and graphs and charts and all that, and it's really, really good for people who like that sort of thing. The problem with that is that it's slow as fuck. You have no idea how slow this game can be at times. It can take a couple of minutes just to save your game. So if you're trying to do something like you're at work or something, you can prop your Vita up and put it on charge and, you know, have a portable version there that you can come back to every few minutes. Yeah, that might be worth your time. For the rest, nope. Fort Defense and Fort Defense North Menace. Have not bought these, and I really don't want to, because this is the same company that bought Mahjong World Contest out, and that game was broken because it only unlocked the demo version, even if you bought the full version, and they repeated it again with the Fort Defense games. So I don't even want to touch those, and you probably shouldn't either. Frobisher says, free-to-play WarioWare clone with its own kind of style to it. And they've updated it with expansion packs and free updates to change the options and all that. It's a fun game at the very least, and it's worth at least looking at. It's free to play, and it really is worth looking at. Fruit Ninja, it's $5. Fuck it. Furmins, it's kind of, it's like if you took a platformer. Well, no, that's not doing it justice. It's like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Rube Goldberg machine, where you have to send the Furmins through from a goal to an endpoint, collecting as many candies as possible. The puzzles are all well designed, and they'll keep you thinking, and you don't have to go through and do every puzzle perfectly in order to keep moving on. And it's got a bonus world content for like 99 cents, and it's $6, and I did quite enjoy the time I spent with it. You know, I like it. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I like it. Germinator on Vita. Germinator is a Puzzle Bobble clone in the strictest sense imaginable, but it does have its own little unique charm and playstyle to it. You make these bubbles swell up by attaching their own color to them, and if you use a special thing on them, they will have their own unique ability. So, for example, if you attach a special red thing to a red thing, you will make it explode really heavily, and it'll explode in a couple of directions. And then green will remove, like, all other greens or something like that. That's how the whole thing works. It's a good game, but Ms. Germinator, I'll get to Ms. Germinator, but Ms. Germinator is just better in every respect. I'll get to that, though. Still worth picking up. It's $7. Drink. God of War Collection. I actually really like it. The game's frame rate have been reduced to 30 FPS. People claim it makes it unplayable. That couldn't be further from the truth. It's not like Jak and Daxter, where the frame rate drops so far that it actually makes the controls physically worse. In God of War Collection, it still controls fine when the frame rate drops, and it only drops just a little bit, at least of what I played of the collection. And I really do enjoy it, and I actually got it for free because of that bug on PlayStation Plus. I don't know how it works exactly, so don't ask me. But, you know, it's still worth playing, especially if you don't have a PS3 or don't have access to a PS2 to play the original games. It's still a fairly decent collection. Gravity Rush. One of the Vita's biggest games. I will admit, I do love it, and it's really cheap. It's like less than $15. You've got nothing to lose. It's a game where you fly around as a girl who can defy gravity, and you beat the shit out of things, and you explore these gigantic parts of cities where you can find crystals to upgrade your powers, and you have lots of little different side missions and time trials to do, and there's a lot of content here. This is like one of the only games I've platinumed on Vita. It's that good. I really, really do enjoy it, and I would recommend you all pick it up. Grip Games Bundle, that's just Foosball and Atomic Ninjas, and yeah, $4 for the two of them. I can't argue with that. You know, buy it. Buy it. Guacamelee. Luchador Metroidvania. It's, that's pretty much the best example I can give. It's a 2D platformer with really, really good combat, and it's a really, really fun game. The combat's got a lot to it, and it's got a lot of humor, a lot of good, like, humor that's really easy and funny, and it's got a lot of challenge in it, and a lot of unlockable stuff, and yeah, it's fun. Buy it, please. Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R, that's a mouthful. This is from the people who made BlazBlue, but it's significantly more complex and complicated. So, if you like that, if you like BlazBlue and like, oh, I want to check out what else these people have done, this is pretty good. Unfortunately, it has no online play, so, you know, you'll be stuck with fighting the AI, or if you have another friend with a Vita, you can play ad hoc with them. But there's a lot of different characters, and they all play significantly differently from each other, like even more than BlazBlue does. So, you know, if you like a really good fighting game, yeah, this is a really good version of it. Gunslugs. I didn't like this very much because there were a lot of tiny problems that eventually just built up and built up and built up into massive problems for me. Like, I did a video, so if you want to go and see what those problems were, because I can't remember them off the top of my head, you can go and check that out. But one of the problems I had was, like, this is tiny, but this is just an example of the problems I had with this game. Where a ship, if you destroyed a ship, it would come down and crash, but the camera would move away from you, and if you were under attack from a couple enemies at the time, you were basically screwed. And there's a couple of really small things like that, which just really make the game a pain in the ass. But it's $2.50. It's not that bad, you know. There are some things you can forgive, and you might be able to forgive them. Go watch my video. If you can forgive half the mistakes they made, you'll probably enjoy Gunslugs. It's like a 2D Metal Slug style thing with a couple of different things to do. And it's ported by Abstraction Games, the people who ported Hotline Miami and ported Rogue Legacy recently. So that's a really, really good company. And, you know, if you're going to support them, feel free to. Hatsune Miku Project Diva F. This is a rhythm game where you press triangle, square, circle, and X and the touchscreen in time with music. I didn't like the music library as much as I liked a game like DJ Max or Citus Lambda. And there's not that much of it. There's like 35 songs or something like that. And you have to pay for more songs. And, well, it's, what do I think? Well, it kind of annoys me how the notes come in over really colorful backgrounds. And it might be really hard to see them. Some people say they don't have problems with it, but I do, because I don't have very, very good vision, so sometimes that just happens to me. But yeah, it's okay, and you know, if it goes down to like $20 when Project Diva F second launches, go ahead. Not much to lose. The HD Adventures of Rotating Octopus character. This is a very simple game where you press a button and your octopus will immediately just shoot over to another side of an obstacle, and you have to collect all your baby obstacle friends. Baby octopus friends, I should say. And it's a fairly entertaining game for a few minutes at the very least. Just don't play it for too long. And the unfortunate thing about not playing it for too long is that you have to do an entire set of levels in one go, otherwise you have to start from the very beginning, and you do have lives, which feel like a really outdated concept these days. So, you know. History Legends of War Patton. Haven't played it. Can't tell you much about it. Sorry about that. But it's a turn-based strategy game based on World War II, and I've heard decently good things about it, and it's always been $30. And it's by Slytherin Software. Maybe we could convince them to port Distant Worlds Universe. I'm sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight face. But again, I've heard it's alright. I'm sorry, there's not much I can tell you about it. There are games here that I have skipped. And considering I own pretty much nearly every other game, it's... yeah. Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Really fun arcadey golf game where you have lots of courses and really fantasy characters, and it's a very simple game to play but very hard to master, and it does come with a... Does it come with a free demo? It does. Go play the demo. Really good game. Hotline Miami. I actually got to play this before most people did because I was on the Good Old Games review program at the time, and I actually got to play this as a review for Kotaku Australia, and I really did enjoy it then, and I enjoy it now. It's a high-speed, high-action puzzle game of sorts, where you have to figure out the best way to get through a set of rooms of people where everybody dies in one hit, but so do you. So you have to figure out how to get through every single room while getting lots of kills and all that. It's a very fun game, very enjoyable, and it's only $10. Seriously, go buy that game. It's fantastic. Hustle Kings. It's a very good pool sim. I actually haven't played it in like a year or more, but there's a lot to do in it. You play pool against a lot of people. There's a few different types of pool. The AI can be put from stupidly easy to stupidly hard. And it's a very enjoyable game, and, you know, there's a demo, so go play the demo if you're interested. It's a demo that's very representative of the full game. Hyperdimension Neptunia, Producing Perfection. If this is how NIS America wanted to go out, localizing Hyperdimension Neptunia, considering that Idea Factory International has taken over, and they've actually localized Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, which I'm actually playing right now, it's kind of a whimper and not a bang. It's a game where you do nothing but fiddle around with stats by doing specific things, and you just do things like make them learn different stats, and when they learn different stats they get better at things, and you got to try and keep them in check. And yeah, it's I don't like it. It's like an idle management simulator. And I'm not a fan of it at all. It's only got like 5 songs too, which kind of feels ridiculous in my point of view. But yeah, for $40, no way. Maybe if it drops to 10, maybe. And if you're a fan of the series, if you're not a fan of the series, this is not the place to start. The place to start is Rebirth. And I'll have a video up on that shortly because I have no embargo because First Impressions don't have any embargo on that game. So hopefully I'll get one up maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what I have planned. Indoor Sports World. This was made by the guy who made Life of Pixel on PlayStation Mobile. So guy's got cred. Unfortunately, most of the games aren't really that fun to play, and the two games that are the best, the air hockey and the pool table, have better versions in other games on Vita, so, you know, even for $5, not really. You can get better. Injustice Gods Among Us. This is a fighting game by the people who made Mortal Kombat 9, and it shines right through. You've got a lot of different DC superheroes going through a sort of story. Back when I played this game for my video, I didn't really have that much knowledge about DC superheroes. I only knew who they were through random movies, and I didn't really understand what much of what was going on, to tell you the truth. There's a lot of different characters, and they all play fairly differently, but they all play fairly similar as well. There's a lot of different flashy things to watch, like X-ray moves and all that, and it's $20. If you liked Mortal Kombat 9, absolutely go for this one. You might want to hold off on this unless you're a fan of DC Comics or you think you can deal with all the references to DC Comics. But yeah, just tread lightly. Tread lightly. It's still a good game though. Like, no question about it. Still a good fighting game. Jacob Jones and the Bigfoot Mystery. It's like Professor Layton, only Vita. That's all I've got to say about it. You've got all sorts of different puzzles to do, and yeah, this is actually supposed to be like episode 1 of a trilogy or something. But unfortunately, episode 2 never came out. I don't think they're actually going to do episode 2 or 3 on Vita, and it's kind of depressing because this wasn't actually that bad. But for $3 fucking bucks, I mean, jeez, it was really good for that, and I quite enjoyed my time with it for $3 and a couple of hours of puzzling. Sure, shame. Jak and Daxter Collection, don't buy it. I know a lot of people are going to give me shit for this, but I really do not like the Jak and Daxter Collection on Vita. The frame rate makes the controls almost unplayable, at least in my point of view. Some people got by fine, but like if you go and watch my video, Jak 2 and 3 are pretty badly broken. The frame rate drops so badly that it feels like I'm dragging my control stick through a stick of butter. It's ridiculous how bad the frame rate can drop, and they never fixed it. Like, they knew the problems were there, and they never, ever patched them out or fixed them. And I don't hold out much hope for Ratchet & Clank on Vita as well, because the retail version of that in Europe, Ratchet & Clank 2, actually crashes like every 15 to 20 minutes. It's so annoying, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. Jet Set Radio is the only video of a game I ever deleted. I whined and whimpered on so much in that video, and the video quality was terrible. I just deleted it. Jet Set Radio is like it's a platformer-ish with a cool sense of style to it. You go around the town spraying graffiti on everything and collecting paint cans and doing tricks for points and all that. And you're aiming for a specific amount of points, and you got goals to do in every level. The controls, though, this is a remake of a game that came out like 10 years ago, so the controls haven't really changed that much, and that doesn't really help the game. They feel kind of inconsistent. It feels hard to grind on rails sometimes, and sometimes it feels really hard to do what you want, but admittedly, the rest of the game works pretty well. The soundtrack is a bit of a contentious point for me. I know how many people grew up with Jet Set Radio's soundtrack as a thing, but I didn't like it that much. I guess I went in expecting too much and got too little. But we'll just move on from that. It's not that bad. For $10, maybe. I think it has a demo, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say there. Jetpack Joyride, it's free and it's really fun. You should go check it out. Nothing else to say about that, really. Kickbeat. Kickbeat. This game had a lot of potential, and I really did like it when it came out, but then they released a Steam edition with a lot of music and never ported it over to this version. Basically, it's a game where you press triangles to circle and X as guys are circling around the arena. Unfortunately, the game is actually really hard, and I found myself relying on button prompts a lot more than I should, because the guys coming in to hit you actually happens like really quickly if you don't have buttons, and it's kind of hard to tell when you don't have buttons, when people are going to hit you until it's too late if you have bad reflexes like I do. But it's, you know, if you like rhythm games, it's alright to check out, and I actually got a fair few good bands from that, but yeah, it's just kind of disappointing they never ported the new songs over. Kilka Card Gods. It's like if you took Sudoku and made it with decks of cards. Basically, you have a grid, and you can't put the... Oh, well, no, not Sudoku. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Picross, that's it. If you took Picross and you put it with decks of cards, you have to put specific cards in specific slots, and you have to figure it out through means of putting down the right cards in the right places, and you just slowly fill in the puzzle based on what you can fill in. And fans of Picross might like this one, but the thing is, the puzzles can be pretty easily brute forced, so you might just spend time just on a hard puzzle instead of just actually trying to figure it out. Just forcing different cards into different slots and then coming back and doing better later. It's, yeah, $6 maybe. If you like puzzle games, maybe. Killzone Mercenary. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a first-person shooter set in the Killzone universe where you swap sides every now and again, and it's a fun game. The campaign goes for a while, and there's a lot of different extra objectives to do after the campaign's over, but some of them are really fucking difficult. And then there's the multiplayer. The multiplayer is probably the best multiplayer you're going to get on Vita, to tell you the truth. It's a lot of fun shooting people in the 4-on-4 combat, but I wish there were more players. I wish the maps were bigger. But, you know, to be fair, for 4-on-4, the maps are actually pretty perfectly sized, so, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I don't mind it that much. It kind of annoys me you have to pay for Bot Zone, but it's $2.50. It's not like they're asking too much for it, and it was made after the game came out. And they supported the game after it came out with a lot of patches and 2 extra maps. So, you know, you can't really complain with their post-launch support. King Oddball. It's a good game. You go and you throw rocks at buildings like in Angry Birds, except your thing can be moved to different places, and you go through and you throw rocks at things and you do stuff like that. And there's a free demo you can play as well, so, you know, please go check that out. It's actually a fairly good game. And it's by 10 Tons. 10 Tons have supported the Vita a lot, and they're actually bringing Crimson Land to the Vita soon. So, you know, I like it. Go check out the demo. Knit Underground. This is a game I didn't personally get on with. I went through all the tutorials and all the platforming. All that. It's basically an open world exploratory platformer with not that much else to it, and I kind of got lost a lot. That tends to happen. I wasn't really sure where I was supposed to go, and yeah, I just kind of wandered around lost for a while. Be ready to explore, be ready to remember stuff, because yeah, I kind of had trouble with all that. Kung Fu Rabbit is like if you took Super Meat Boy and made it a little bit more shit. It's a platformer where you go through and you have to try and collect the golden cat. Well, you have to try and get to the end, but you also got to try and collect the golden carrots. You die in one hit. There's wall jumping and sprinting and all that, and it's not terrible for $5, but I lost interest in it pretty quickly. I haven't played any of the LEGO games, so I can't really tell you that much about them, but from what I've heard, pretty much all of them are the same thing. Go through linear levels, do things like beat up enemies, find studs, look for small hidden secrets, collect new characters, collect all sorts of different things, and yeah, it goes about the same way across all the different games. And there's no real optimization. They don't really use the Vita's hardware that much. They're all 3DS ports, so, you know, if you want just a simplistic LEGO game to pass the time with, you can't really argue with some of these, but, you know, if you're expecting something big, don't. Lemmings Touch. Actually a decent version of Lemmings by D3T. They actually did a couple of things that they did some stuff that I actually really liked, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. So basically, it is a version of Lemmings where everything is touch-based. The touch controls can tend to get in the way of the game at times, and the puzzles tend to turn into more action-y, solve the puzzle in time segments more than just actual puzzling, but, you know, it's not terrible, not for $10. Let's Fish Hooked On. I actually liked this game back in the day when I did a video on it, but I played it again recently and I'm like, what the fuck, why did I like this? It's a very, very weird fishing game, and the lolly on the front of the cover actually has a pants half unzipped. Trust me, just look closely. But then again, you really don't want to look that closely. Yeah, you cast your line in, and you use different baits, and you use different abilities, and yeah, it's not that good, to tell you the truth. I don't know why I liked it so much, but I mean, $10, not that much to lose, but again, there are probably better things on this. Limbo. I hate Limbo. No, I'm wrong. I don't hate it. I hate the ending. The ending is so terrible. Like, it starts off really well. In the first hour, you go through this really obscure world where you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and you have all these simple puzzles to solve, and all these different things happen throughout the game, and it's really, really weird, and it's like, you know, it's really good for like the first hour and a half, 2 hours, and then for the like final hour of the game, it goes into just typical puzzle platformer territory. It was squandered. It was absolutely squandered, and I absolutely hate it that it had to end that way. So, yeah, it's... I can't personally recommend it, but you'll probably have people saying, oh, go play it, go play it, go play it. Be prepared for disappointment at the very end. Little Deviants. A lot of people hated this when it came out, because it was like a tech demo that cost like $30, but now it costs like 15. I can say go buy it, because it uses all the features of the Vita in some really clever ways in some points, and I really do enjoy the way it actually uses all the Vita stuff, and it's cheap, and I do enjoy it. I mean, like, if there's the free demo if you're on the fence, so go play that. Little Big Planet Vita. Best version of Little Big Planet there's been since Little Big Planet 2. Admittedly, there's only been like 3 Little Big Planet games, but still, Little Big Planet Vita is really, really good. It's like a full-on version that you would find on the PS3, with all sorts of different add-ons and content, and of course, the campaign itself is a bit short, but again, you can go through it co-op with a lot of people, and you can even download levels that people make online, and the level editing tool in this is really, really complex, and people have made entire games out of this. It's really, really good. Like, people have remade games like Flappy Bird and Geometry Wars in this. It's that good of a toolkit. It's worth buying just to go through the level browser alone and just play the top-rated stuff, because there is a lot of different variety in there. It's really, really good. Lone Survivor, the Director's Cut. It's a survival horror experience where it's like 2D, and you have to defend yourself from all sorts of different enemies, and you have to figure out what the bloody hell is going on, and it's a really, really freaky, like, mind-bending experience, and I like it a lot, and I would recommend it to anybody. It's a very, very complex game, and there's actually a lot of different endings and stuff too. Lumines, Electronic Symphony. I'm a huge fan of Lumines, and the amount of hours I put into Lumines 2 on the PSP was enough to actually let me get the top in the top 100 high scoreboard on Vita when I first got Lumines Electronic Symphony the day at launch. It's a very good puzzle game where all the songs are electronic, and you go through, it's a puzzle game where you have a wide playfield, and you drop blocks of 4 in 2 different colors, and you try and make solid 4 blocks, and a timeline slowly sweeps across and removes blocks. I really like it. I think it's a really well-designed puzzle game. I think that the way they changed the actual special ability blocks in this game kind of made the game worse overall, but it's still a good game nonetheless. It's still fun to play. And there's a free demo, so you can go check that out if you like. You already heard my opinions on the LEGO video games. Wow, we're almost halfway through. Unbelievable. Okay. M through O. Machinarium. A point-and-click adventure game that is really, really interesting. It's a robot that has to go through and try and recover all the, well, I don't know, actually, I don't know what the plot's about. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But the puzzles are really well designed. Unfortunately, I tend to have this problem where I can't see movable shit, even if it's right in my face. So I had a lot of trouble with this game, but thankfully it actually includes a really helpful hint system where you can just play through this tiny little shooter game and then just unlock a special hint. It's a good game, and they did their best to account for the noob players, and I do quite like it, so, you know, feel free to pick it up. Madden NFL 13. This game had a lot of performance problems and stuff on launch, but they did fix it up with a patch, and I'm surprised they didn't release any more, like Madden NFL 14 or 25 or whatever the bloody hell they're doing. But it's an okay game. I was never really that big of a fan of football. I only bought it so I could play in the Super Bowl, and I lost like 0-60 or something. I don't remember what the score was. But yeah, I can't really tell you that much about it because I don't know that much about football to begin with. Magical Beat. This is a rhythm game where you drop blocks on a field similar to the game Columns or Tetris Attack, or whatever the bloody hell you want to call it, to the beat of the music. Except it goes really, really fast, and it can get really, really hard at times. So be prepared for that. The music itself is actually pretty good, but it's a really hard game, so I'd be careful with that. Also, they've added BlazBlue and X-Blaze DLC content, and there's a lot of it. So, you know, if you want to play BlazBlue music, you'll be spending a fair bit of money, but whatever. Mahjong Royal Towers and Mahjong World Contest. I tell you to buy these, but they fucked up the release of Mahjong World Contest. I actually bought it, and I didn't get my money back, because when the game activated... What's that noise? I don't know. When the game activated, it, when they put it up on the store, it activated and it gave everybody a demo version, even the people who bought it. So, you know, fuck that game. Malicious Rebirth. It's not terrible. It's like a hack and slash game along the lines of Dynasty Warriors, where you try and defeat these gigantic ass bosses, but the game goes so slow because the frame rate drops like a rock if any more than a few troops get on screen at once. It's really, really depressing, and it gets really, really slow at times. Like, imagine that it slows down like this whenever you get more than a few troops on screen at once, and that's basically what you've got going for you. I did a video of it, so if you want to see it in action, go right ahead. Military Mayhem. It's, there was a game like this that I can't really put my finger on the name of, but it's like a, it's a game where you have to direct a bunch of bathroom patrons to different places, like different toilets, and you have to guide them to the sink and guide them out, and it can get really, really hectic at times, and I do quite enjoy it, and it's only $2. So, you know, pick it up. It's like 600 meg though, which kind of surprises me. Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. Really, really good port of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. People say the controls suck. No, they don't. You just need to get used to them. They're fine for the games that they were made for. Yeah, I absolutely love Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 3 is like one of my top 5 games of all time, and this is a really good port of it, and even if you just buy Snake Eater alone, it's really, really good. But, you know, they're stealth games. They're 3D stealth games, and they work fairly differently from each other. They feel a bit dated because of the fact that, you know, Metal Gear Solid 2 was released in 2001. Metal Gear Solid 3 was released in, like, 03 or 04. Drink, sorry. But, yeah, it's a really good collection, and if you haven't played those games before, they are a fairly good way to experience them. Metro Co. This just came out recently. It's a 2D platformer where you play through a series of levels that are designed around graphs and bars and all that. And these graphs and bars are all based on specific parts of your Vita, and specific parts of your character. So you might be out on one stage, you might be turning your Vita left and right, moving it back and forward in order to make some happen. You might be pointing your camera at something in order to make something happen the next. You might be moving your character back and forth and jumping to cause something else to happen for another level. It's not terrible, but it's really short, and it's not too difficult, but it's just, I feel like it's a bit too expensive at $13.99. It's free on PlayStation Plus, absolutely. Like, you know, go ahead and do that. And also the Metro Co demo is here, so you can try that out as well, but I think it's a little bit too expensive. If it went for $10, I would recommend it at that price. But yeah, there's my opinions on that. Mine Zero. It's the most average dungeon crawler I've ever played. Everything feels average about it. The acting, the writing, the combat, the stat grinding, everything about it just feels average to me. And also the 3D models feel really weird compared to the art. It's kind of odd, but yeah. Also, bloody K always has that fucking face. I swear to God, he always has that goddamn face. Like, yeah, it's just a pain in the ass, but. It's not terrible by any means. It's just like, I would recommend Demon Gaze over this any day. The MLB games. I played a little bit of MLB 13, but not the rest. And from what I played of MLB 13, it is a very good baseball simulator with a lot of content and stuff to do. It's unfortunate they cut a couple of modes out of the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 versions, especially the really interesting ones, like the Dynasty ones, where you build a team out of a deck of cards. That sounds like a really cool idea, but unfortunately they just didn't include it in this one. I don't know why they didn't. But yeah, they're good baseball simulators, and yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I don't know that much about baseball, so I can't really tell you much more than that. Mod Nation Racers Road Trip. Back when this launched, a lot of people hated it because the frame rate went really low during races, but it didn't really affect your control of the racing that much. It's just a little bit. And it's a racing game where you customize your cars and your tracks as much as you like and share them online and all that, but there's no online multiplayer, so I feel like that kind of killed it out of the gate, especially for a Vita launch title that was definitely capable of something like that. But for $15, it's not too terrible, and does it have a demo? I don't think it does, but No, but it's a decent enough game as is, and I would recommend it if it goes on sale for like $10, because I think it has in the past. So, you know, enjoy it. It is a fun game beneath all the lag issues. Monster Mon Piece. It's a card game where you rub girls to power them up. It's oh man, I love saying that. You rub girls to power them up. That just sounds hilariously perverted. But it's a card game where you have 3 different lanes and you have to send different types of monsters out on those lanes, and you power up monsters with buffers and you try and fuse them together to make them more powerful and stuff like that. It's got a lot of strategy to it, and there's a lot of different cards to find and collect, and the single player campaign goes for a fairly long time, and there's online multiplayer, so I like it a lot and I recommend it. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a remake, well, not a remake, more like a rebirth of Mortal Kombat, and it's a fun game. It's a 2D fighter with a physical block button. You don't see that very often, but it's a very fun game with a lot of different characters and very gory X-ray moves that kind of feel weird to watch after a while. The Vita version has a significant graphical downgrade from the PlayStation versions, but it results in the game being a smooth 60 frames per second all the goddamn time, and it's a really fun game to play on the Vita. It's also really, really fucking difficult, especially on the challenge towers and the AI at the end of the game and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're gonna get pushed around a bit in Mortal Kombat, so, you know, be ready for that. MotoGP 13. Only played it for a few minutes on my friend's PlayStation Vita, and to be fair, it's a good port. I think it's a good port. I do like it. It's just I'm waiting for MotoGP 14 to come out. I'm actually going to be getting a copy of that from the publisher. So yeah, well, there you go. MotorStorm RC. I got this for free back when the version of it launched on the US that actually lets you get it for free. And it's a really good game. It's like Micro Machines, where you look at the game from top down, and you race these little RC machine cars through a lot of different tracks and different types of events, and all the cars handle significantly differently. They all feel different, and it's a really fun to go and play all the different cars and feel how different they play as. And the game has DLC, which adds a lot of extra content to the game as well. It's a fun game, and I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Ms. Germinator is a sequel to Germinator. It has minor improvements over the original Germinator, but it is still a really, really good game, and I do recommend it. It improved the game by making the stars based by making the score stars based on actual score instead of just something random from the previous game, and they removed one of the modes I didn't like from the previous game and replaced it with a newer mode that was actually better. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I did videos on both Germinator and Ms. Germinator, so you'll be able to tell for yourself. Seriously though, I recommend them both. They're both good games. MUDFIM. This is a motocross game. It's a really good motocross game, but it has this weird thing between arcadey style and realistic style. The engine feels relatively realistic, but then you have things like using cans of mud energy drink for speed boost and getting little tricks right in the air for extra speed boost, and then you can go and do tricks and all that in the trick mode. But I still really like it. It's a fun game. It's fun to drive the bikes, and it's fun to just go through the campaign and upgrade your guys and do stuff like that. It is a bit of a weird disconnect, and I won't blame people if they're looking for a simulator. If you're looking for a simulator, especially those of you in Europe, because you actually have this game, look up MXGP and try and import that. MXGP is like the sequel to MUD, but it's entirely simulator. There's no arcadey stuff to it. And it is a better game than MUD, but MUD or MUD or whatever is still a really good motocross game, and I do like it a lot. But again, if you want a really good simulator game from the same people who made MUD, look up MXGP. I should do a video on that someday. I actually have the physical cartridge here. Muramasa Rebirth. It's a remake of a game that was on the Wii. It's a 2D fighting game. Well, by fighting, I mean it's an action platformer fighting game where you go through and you beat the shit out of everything in sight. There's a lot of different bosses with their own little techniques, and you have to build a lot of different swords and items up, and you have to build up your stats, and you have to just do a lot of different things. And they've been releasing DLC characters and updates for this game like for heaps of time now. So as you can see, there's already 3 out, and there's a 4th one, and all the DLC characters let you play through the main game's bosses once you finish the game. So once you finish their individual storylines. Really, really good game. I do recommend it. It's really, really good. Mutant Mudds Deluxe, retro platforming extravaganza. All you can do is jump, shoot, and hover, and you have to get through all these different stages, collect all these little tokens, and go back and forth through the different dimensions. This game was originally out on 3DS, so there's a reason for that. But it's still a fun little experience by itself, and I do recommend it. It's only 10 bucks, and it's 37 meg, and I do quite like the game. It's fun. It's just hard. Kind of hard. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Made by Criterion themselves. These screenshots are lies. But it's an open world racing game where you have to beat different events where with racing and eliminations and time trials, and you eventually move your way up the Most Wanted list, and you get to drive against other cars, and you go and unlock other cars by finding them in the world, and you can go online and play other people, but usually it's other people who have better cars than you, and other cars are just outright better, and they'll just beat you in every race every time. This was supposed to be a successor to Burnout Paradise, or at least that's what they made it out to be. It's not really. It's worse than Burnout Paradise. God, if they ported Burnout Paradise to Vita, that would basically be my heaven, but yeah, it's a good enough racing game as is, and for 20 bucks, absolutely. Not Ninja Gaiden. New Little King Story. Had a few performance problems to begin with. This is like a town management sim where you get a party of people up and you use them to do different things. Like you can build things, you can look for secrets, you can fight with combat-oriented people, you can get married to princesses. I didn't play it for very long, but I mean, it was alright from what I played of it, and it's gone down to 20 bucks as well, so you don't have that much to lose. Don't worry about buying the Ultimate Pass. It's just costume packs. It's not that much to it. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus was actually a good port. It's just really, really fucking hard. And it's kind of difficult. It's just really, really difficult. I find a really hard time. I have a really hard time trying to play it, but at least it's not as bad as Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, because Sigma 2 actually had some performance problems, which made the game really, really hard to play, even in comparison to Sigma 1. If you want to buy a Ninja Gaiden game, go for Sigma Plus. It's not too terrible difficulty, but it will kick your ass. It really will. Just be careful. No Heroes Allowed, No Puzzles Either is a match 3 game. A really, really difficult match 3 game where you have to buy a bunch of where you have to get a bunch of heroes, and you have to defeat heroes by making monsters, and it's free to play. Go buy the free to play. Go play free to play, and then if you like it, go buy the mega pack. It'll give you everything you need to keep going. Nun Attack. This was weird as shit. I don't know how else to describe Nun Attack. It's a touchscreen controlled purely game where you go through and you control your nuns by tabbing and telling them where to go and what to shoot at, and you got to try and survive all the levels, and you upgrade their weapons and stuff like that. It's not terrible, it's just freaking weird. Oddworld New and Tasty isn't out yet, can't tell you about that. Stranger's Wrath HD. I actually really like this. It's a decent port. It runs fairly well, and it's like a Oddworld game where you go through these areas, these 3D platforming areas, and you have to try and defeat these bosses, but you can go either lethal or non-lethal, and you've got a lot of different bow ammunition to help you with this. Like, you can trap enemies, or you can just outright kill them, and you can play the game as a first-person shooter if you like, but still, it's a really fun game because it gives you options. Every area you come up against with a boss, you can go through in all sorts of different ways to try and find a way to beat them. It's a fun game. I do recommend it. I really enjoy it. It's fun as hell. Ollie Ollie. It's like 2D skateboarding Hotline Miami, I've heard it be described as. So basically, you use the analog stick to do lots of different tricks while in the air, and grinds and all that, and you go through to the ends of levels doing lots of individual goals and all that. When I originally played it, I had trouble with the grinding aspect of it, because sometimes the grinds feel like they should land, but they just don't for some reason, and there was a lot of crashing early on, and it took a really long time to get resolved. But it's fixed now, and it's really worth the time. Like, $12.99, it might be a bit much for some people, but I still really like it, and I would recommend it. OMG HD Zombies. Very good game. I really like this one a lot. It's basically, you go through these levels, and you shoot zombies, and they explode, and they make other zombies explode. And it's got a colorblind mode too. And you go, when you make another zombies explode, you get money for it. You use that to upgrade your zombies, and then you use that to make more zombies explode, and it continues on like that. It's really, really compelling, and you spend a lot of time playing it. Like, when I bought it, I slammed it for like a week. It was all I played for a week to get all the platinum medals back on when it was on PS Minis. So, you know, thumbs up for that. There was a crashing problem like early on with it for some reason, but that got fixed. I don't know what caused that. One Piece Unlimited World Red. Drink. One Piece Unlimited World Red is from the guys who made Dynasty Warriors. It's a brawler where you expand your town by getting materials and all that, and you can use that to build stuff and get more components, and you use them to build items and stuff like that. It's a very compelling game. The brawling itself is kind of repetitive, but there's like 20 different characters you can play as to try and reduce the repetitiveness of it a little bit, and you can level them all up individually, and the town building is really in-depth, and there's a lot of stuff you can do while you're in town to build up your town, and it's a really enjoyable game where you can just play it for a while and not even notice that you're playing it. It's pretty fun. I do enjoy it. And would I recommend it to someone who has no idea what's going on with the anime? Maybe. I played it with no knowledge of what happens in the anime at all. Like, one episode. That's all I've seen. And Japanese voices were actually kind of a godsend, because the English voices were kind of annoying. But I don't know much about it, and I still enjoyed my time with it, but then again, I am a fan of Dynasty Warriors, so this might be just me liking the Dynasty Warriors bit more than the One Piece bit, you never know. Open Me. This is like one of the best examples of AR you can get on the Vita. It's a game where you basically have to try and open a bunch of different boxes, and all these boxes have their own little tricks and things to them. A lot of them I didn't figure out, but there are some really clever puzzles here. And you can buy the game for $10, and it doesn't actually require a AR card, if I remember correctly. So, you have to move your Vita up, down, left, right. Like, you have to move around looking at this box, trying to find a way to open it. It's a really clever use of the AR, and I actually really like this game. Whether or not you'll buy it is if you think AR is disgusting or not. If you think it's disgusting, don't buy it. If you don't think it's disgusting, it might be worth checking out. It's actually got a free demo. Algorithm. This is like the very first game I ever did a video on. I swear to God that's true. And it's a game where you tap to the beat and then you spawn troops like in Pikmin, and they will go and attack stuff, and they have their own advantages and disadvantages, like a rock, paper, scissors system. There's a lot of different levels and a lot of different music, and they even included a fan music pack, which is really, really cool of them to do. Good old X-Seed, eh? And it's $10, and there's a demo, and there's a free DLC pack, so it's like, you know, why the fuck not? Go try it, please. Okay, we're moving on to PNS. That almost sounded like PMS. Persona 4 Golden. How much more can I jerk this game off that more people haven't already? Seriously, this is the best game. Well, one of the best games on Vita by far. Seriously, go buy this game if you haven't already. Even if you don't like RPGs, go buy this game. Seriously, I can't stress it enough. It's a really fucking good game. It'll last you for at least 60 hours, and that's if you rush it. Oh boy. Pinball Arcade. One of my personal favorites on Vita. It's a pinball simulator. You get 4 different pinball tables with it, and then there's a lot of different pinball tables to buy. Basically, it is a pinball simulator in the most basic of senses. It feels really good to play, though. It feels good to launch balls and flip them around and flip them through all the different targets and all that. They picked a fairly good set of starting tables, but you probably want to go and buy more tables, like, right off the bat. Like, my personal favorites are, on Vita, are Terminator 2, Attack from Mars, Medieval Madness, Star Trek The Next Generation. There's a few others that I'm not going to be able to remember off the top of my head, just like that. But seriously, these guys have been supporting the Vita pretty well. They've been releasing new tables every couple of months. I mean, it's nothing compared to the Android version, which gets a new table like every 2 to 3 weeks. But, I mean, for, you know, submission issues and all that, they release like 4 tables at a time. They've released tables 22 through 26, and 27 through 30 are probably coming at the end of the year or something like that. It's not terrible. They do release the stuff, and there are actually season packs you can buy for like $30. It's a good game, and just look into it. It's really good. Pinball Heroes Complete. Pinball Heroes is a set of pinball games that came out back on the PSP, and now they've been released as a full bundle. And the funny story is they actually announced this like the week after I bought the PSP minis and transferred them to my PS3. they're a good set of two-dimensional pinball tables. It's just, I mean, with Zen Pinball 2 and Pinball Arcade, it's kind of hard to justify keeping Pinball Heroes Complete around, because it's like a 600 meg game that only has 5 tables on it. Meanwhile, you've got games like Pinball Arcade, which has like 30-something tables that you can pack into 900 megs. So, you know, it's worth looking at the very least. It's got a demo, and the tables are all right at the least. Pixel Junk Monsters. This is like one of the best tower defense games I've played in a long time. This is, you go around as this little totem thing. I don't know what exactly it's called. It's like a turtle or a totem. I don't know. You go around and you plant turrets in trees, and you go and look for currency, and you stand over the top of your towers to upgrade them, and you try and fend off waves of enemies. And it's a fun game. It just gets really hard after a while, so be prepared for that. But yeah, I do like it. I like it a lot. Pixel Junk Shooter Ultimate. It's a 2D game, kind of like those games of old where you go through and go through caves and save people and continue on through levels and shoot things out of the way and like all that. It's a fun game. It came up free on PlayStation Plus, so if you didn't get it, you're kind of silly. It's fun. I didn't really play that much of it because I didn't have to. A lot of games came out that week, and this came out free on PlayStation Plus, and it's like, if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you're doing it wrong. So, you know. Plants vs. Zombies. A really good port of Plants vs. Zombies. It's a bit expensive for my taste, so it would be nice if it was $10, but $15 ain't too bad either. I do quite enjoy this version of the game, and it's, yeah, it works. It's fun. It's fun to play, and it has all the content there, so, you know, enjoy yourself. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. This is a 2D, well, it's a 2D plane 3D fighting game where it's basically Super Smash Brothers, but it varies in one way, where you can't kill anyone with normal attacks. You have to use super moves, and you have to build up super cleverly. You can take away the enemy's super. It's got a lot of strategy behind it. Kratos was really overpowered until the first balance patch, and I stopped playing after that, but it's a fun game nonetheless, and they released a lot of DLC characters, including Kat from Gravity Rush in one of them. You know, good game. Cliff Diving, Fireworks, and Table Soccer, those are all just random AR games I never even got to work properly. So, you know, we'll just ignore those. They're all free, so if you want to try them, whatever, but, you know, not worth the time. PlayStation Vita Pets. For $20, yeah, I don't see why not. It's like, it's a game where you get a pet dog who talks to you for some reason, and you go on adventures through this big overworld map, and you have to level up their skills to get to different places, and you have to, and you can teach them things, you can buy them toys and accessories, and it's just fun. It's fun. It's like if you played Nintendogs with a more adventure-y sense, and that's pretty much a good description there. And it's a good game nonetheless. Good game. Proteus. Proteus. What have I got to say about Proteus? It's an exploration game where if you get high, it will be 10 times as good. So, yeah. You just explore around this island, looking for stuff and figuring out how the island works, and it's a very pretty game to look at. Probably won't last you more than a couple of hours, but whatever. It's still a good game nonetheless. Puddle! Puddle is a physics platformer where you control water through a series of increasingly hard obstacles, and by hard I mean hard, and you try and get as much water to the end as possible. I didn't play that much of it, but what I played of it was actually fairly good, and there's a free demo you can go try, so please go and try that. Poles AR. Probably the best use of augmented reality on the Vita, where you put down your Vita's AR cards as actual tokens in order to use to solve puzzles. It's like an energy reflecting puzzle where you just, you know, reflect a laser to go through a specific amount of things and then send it to a goal or stuff like that. And there's like a gigantic meteor in the sky where if you tilt your Vita up, you can actually see it coming down. It's really, really clever. It's kind of cool. I like it a lot. And for $2, you can't go wrong. Pure Chess. Really good implementation of chess by publisher Ripstone. There's a lot of different DLC packs to buy, and there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of chess puzzles. There's a lot of different AI levels to take on and all that. And you can play by mail or by group messaging in the case of Vita. So if you have a couple of friends you want to play chess with, go right ahead. A really good version of chess. Putty Squad. Didn't buy it. You want to know why? $25 for a game that came out on the Amiga. No thank you. Puzzle by Nicole 5, Slitherlink and Sudoku. There's like 10 of these games in Japan, but they only released 2 of them in America. I don't know why. I wish they released the entire set. These games are just, you know, Slitherlink and Sudoku puzzles, but unfortunately there's only like 50 of them for both games, so if you want a disposable puzzle game that you can play for a couple of hours and then just throw away at the very end for $5, go right ahead. Quell Memento. I really liked Quell Memento. It's a 2D puzzle game where you go through and you have to send these tokens into the right light sources. So you have to send them through to the right light sources, and there's a lot of different puzzles with a lot of different mechanics built into them, and there's a lot of different hidden levels and a lot of mechanics and a lot of that. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it. Ragnarok Odyssey and Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. These are 3D hunting games. We haven't even gotten on to the hunting games yet. Jesus Christ. These games are really, really not that good, unfortunately. I can understand why I actually wanted to put them on this store. And to be fair, there are some people that would like them, but I don't like them one bit. Here's why. They're really, really grindy. They feel like the same thing over and over again. It's like you go through and you just beat the crap out of some stuff. You get some materials. You go back. You buy a couple of cards. You go through. You do the same thing over and over and over and over again for several levels. And it's a pain in the ass, to tell you the truth, because it's just the same thing over and over again. And the progression system behind the game, same screenshot twice. What the hell? You go through what feels like the same mission over and over again, over and over and over and over and over. And that was Ragnarok Odyssey. Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. All this really does is rebalance the single player game just a little bit, but it does leave some other things overpowered as well. And it also adds some new ace skills, which really don't add that much to the game at all. I really don't recommend it. I mean, you can go try the demo if you like, but I don't like it. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll just find that, like, what's there is just enough to keep you interested, but no, not me. Especially when Soul Sacrifice and Tuki don't exist, Ragnarok Odyssey is just not enough effort. Rainbow Moon. It's a strategy RPG. A really long-winded one, too. It's unbelievable. It takes a really long time to get anywhere, but there's a lot of fun in customizing all your stats and getting everything done right, and lots of different items and different things you can do. And it is a really fun, really pretty looking game. Like, these screenshots don't do it justice. Wait until you see it in motion. I put a video up on my channel that has me do a few battles, so if you want to check out my fuller opinions on that, you can go check that out. I've done videos on lots of these games, but not all of them. Ratchet & Clank Collection. That slowdown is actually my Vita. I don't know what's going on with it. Did it just freeze? No, it didn't. Okay, so Ratchet & Clank Collection. They are playable ports at worst, decent ports at best. They do have their own problems. Like, there is some sound issues, some graphical issues. And, of course, in Ratchet & Clank 2 retail version in Europe is actually broken, where it'll crash every 15 minutes. So you want to be buying it digitally, because it doesn't happen on the digital version. But if you can't get the Ratchet & Clank Collection on PS3 for whatever reason, this will do. But remember, these games originally ran 60 FPS, and the Ratchet & Clank Collection on Vita runs them on 30. So, yeah. Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault. Terrible. It's a tower defense game in the vein of, like, pretty much every tower defense game ever. But unfortunately, they had to use Ratchet & Clank for it, and not, like, anything that made sense. Like, Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault, you basically just go around collecting bolts from crates and collecting weapons. Like, in Ratchet & Clank, you only collect weapons once. In Full Frontal Assault, you have to collect them every stage, and you have to collect bolts every stage. And it gets so dull after a while and boring, it's so ridiculous. And there's only 5 levels. It's just... No, and the port is terrible. It looks like shit. You jump above the camera for some reason. I don't know who had the smart idea for that. Yeah, it's a terrible game. Please avoid it. It's just a shame, really. Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins. These are 2D precision platformers. Really, really good precision platformers. Origins is better than Legends because Legends introduced these really shit levels where you have to control Murphy, an AI companion, through a bunch of different shit, and it's not that enjoyable. But still, there's a lot of different 2D platforming levels in there, and there's some really cool remix levels. Like, you hear Black Betty as the subject of one level. A remix of Black Betty. That's unbelievable. The fact that they got the license to do that is fantastic. But, yeah. I would recommend getting Rayman Origins over Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends actually has a bunch of Rayman Origins levels. So, maybe it might be worth your time to go for Rayman Legends more than Rayman Origins. I don't know. I still like Origins better as a whole. Real Boxing. Interesting. It's a game where you control a boxer using both the sticks. You use the right stick to throw punches and the left stick to move and block. And it's a very, it's not very strategy-filled, but I mean, there are a couple of things you can do. There are perks and there are things like that. And it looks pretty damn good. I mean, everyone looks like they've got a plastic layer sheen over them, but it still looks really good. And you do have boxer customization and all that. And there's online play. Don't know if there'd be anybody on it, but I mean, it's still an alright game for like $7. Not terrible, definitely not terrible. Reality Fighters. Pick any other fighting game over this, to tell you the truth. It's a 2D fighting game, like, well, 3D game, 2D fighting game, where you can put it on a AR background, but you can also build your own drink. You can also build your own fighters, but all the fighting styles are just boring as hell, and the matches aren't that engaging like a good game of BlazBlue or Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. So, you know, just ignore that. It's not really worth the time. You can play the demo if you like. It's got a little bit of a sampling, but not much. Resistance Burning Skies. It's a 3-hour campaign with mediocre multiplayer. I don't enjoy it that much anymore. It was alright back when it came out, but now that there's better stuff out, like Killzone Mercenary, it's just easy to completely gloss over Burning Skies. It's a very dull game, mediocre at the very best, where it's just, the story, you don't care about the story, you don't care about the protagonist, the guns all feel a bit off. The only thing I can say is universally good about this game is the control. It shows how to do first-person shooter controls properly on the PlayStation Vita. Yeah, Killzone Mercenary did that too. But, you know. Retro City Rampage. Really, really fun. It's like an open-world Grand Theft Auto clone with a lot of different stuff to do. Lots of stuff and collectibles to find. A gigantic fuck ton of references to absolutely any retro game you can imagine. It's a fantastic game. I recommend it to anybody. And it even comes with like a free demo. And he did a lot of post-game updates to it as well that added new content and new stuff to it. And yeah, thumbs up. I absolutely love that game. Please go buy it. Ridge Racer on Vita. Don't buy it. It's a $25 game that only has 6 cars and 3 tracks. And you can buy more, but you can only buy like 2 add-ons that actually add tracks. And the rest is all music and cars. Not worth the effort. Go buy Ridge Racer on PSP instead. It has, like, a lot more than that. Rocket Birds Hard-Boiled Chicken on PS Vita. It's like a puzzle platformer with a Soviet sense of humor, and the Soviet sense of humor isn't enough to carry forward what I feel is really boring puzzle platforming. I don't like it. It's so dull. It has a lot of just, you know, searching around for key cards and solving simple puzzles and all that, and the Soviet theme doesn't carry it through, at least not for me, anyway. I feel like I've missed something important. I have. Luftrausers in here. Luftrausers is a game by Vlambeer. It's a game where you control a 2D plane and you have to fly around a series of... highly populated combat zones where you have to fight a lot of different enemies, like boats and planes, and you have to dive underwater, and there's a lot of different collectible parts, and yeah, go buy that. It's a really good game. Luftrausers. You'll have to actually search for it. I knew I was missing something. It was bugging me, but goddamn. It turns out I wasn't missing something. It's the store that was missing something. Okay, Rogue Legacy. 2D platformer where you continue your lineage every time you die with a new character, and you build up your stats slowly by unlocking new classes and stats and extra things, and you go and fight mini-bosses, and you collect gold to upgrade all your... What the hell? How the bloody hell does he have 186,000 gold? What the shit? But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a really good platformer though. It's super satisfying to play, especially when you get around to defeating all the big bosses. Okay, Shinobi 2 Revenge of Zen. This is a, you know the, Tenchu. Tenchu, the guys who made Tenchu made this. It's basically a game where you go around and, you do missions for the 3 different warring daimos, or basically ninja lords, and you go and do things like assassinate people, steal their stuff, carry packages through, take out entire enemy groups, you know, and there's this whole story you're following through with, the mirrors of Tenma, and you have to find them, and it's a really fun game, especially when you get into the item crafting, where you can craft a bunch of different items like lures and grenades and flares and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. And when you get into that, the game gets kind of broken. But other than that, yeah. Just 1 second. I have to go open a window. Hold on just a moment. Next game is Silent Hill Book of Memories. Silent Hill Book of Memories is a pretty fun game. It's a dungeon crawler where you go around randomly generated dungeons, collecting weapons and stuff like that in order to hunt down things like different monsters, like the infamous nurses and stuff from Silent Hill, along with a couple of new ones. And it's a fun game, but it can get really, really difficult at times, because it just spends a lot of time breaking all your weapons, and you need to you level up your guys on previous levels before you can really make a difference. So, you know, it's still pretty fun nonetheless. How much is it? It's still $30. Well, there's a free demo you can go try. Sign Mora. Sign Mora is actually really interesting, because if you play Sign Mora, it's a 2D shoot 'em up, you know, in the vein of games like Touhou and Galaga, where you control the flow of time, so you can slow down time in order to avoid lots of different laser fire and all that. And it's a very, very beautiful game. Like, these screenshots will not do it justice. When it moves like butter. It's 60 FPS all the time, and it looks really freaking beautiful. It's really, really good. And there's a demo too, and that really shows off how good the game is. Please go play that demo. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. I didn't play much of this, but what I played of it, I kind of enjoyed. It's a 3D platforming game where you play Sly Cooper in his 4th adventure. The Sly trilogy isn't actually here. That's a bit odd. But yeah, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time is it's a 3D platformer where you play as 3 different characters: Sly, Bentley, and Murray. And I think you might play as someone else as well. I'm not sure. I haven't played that far into it. Where you go around these open worlds and doing missions and stealing stuff from people. It's fun. Just, you know, play the demo first. The demo will give you a taste. I really can't tell you much more than that. I'm sorry, I only ever played the demo and a couple of hours of the main game. Smart As is narrated by John Cleese, the guy from Monty Python and Fawlty Towers. So if that doesn't make you pick this up immediately, I don't know what will. But at the same time, I can understand why you wouldn't, so let me tell you about it. It's basically a brain training game where you go through daily challenges, and it gives you a brain score at the end, and you work to try and improve the your score as you know, as the weeks go by. And there's lots of different mini games, each with their own little things, and you get your brain score at the end, and it's actually kind of fun to try and level up your brain score. It's fun. I do recommend it. There is a demo, and it's also like less than $15, and I would buy it for less than that. If I had to buy it again, I would buy it for $15. So, you know. Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. Absolutely excellent port of the kart racing game. It's a very, very good game. All the characters have their own unique stats and abilities to them, and they're all from different things. Like, there's a NASCAR driver in there for some reason. You got everything from Sonic to the guy from Jet Set Radio to, yeah, there's just a ton of different characters, and there's a lot of fun to be had here. There's a huge campaign, a lot of time trials to go do, and it's a lot of fun. It runs really smoothly. It looks really good. And it's so good. It really is. Just go buy it. If you're looking for any sort of kart racing game, that's the one you want to get. Sorcery Saga, Curse of the Great Curry God. This is a roguelike of one of the most purest of examples of the genre. You go through all these dungeons, you craft curry, and you give your little guy, you have to carry this little guy with you, and he gets more hungry as time goes on, but you have to give him food to keep him alive through the dungeons. You can't move on without him. And it's a very, very fun game. I just heard it's a little bit easy. I actually had a little bit of trouble with it, but I'm not that good at roguelikes. I heard a lot of people had some trouble, had some easy times with it, but I had a little bit of trouble with it. But I do recommend it. It's funny, it's charming, it's cute, and I do quite like the roguelike aspect of it, even if it's just a little bit simple. But again, you can do lots of crafting, and there's a lot of different things you can do in it, and it's over pretty quickly from what I've heard. I haven't actually finished it myself, but it's still good. I do recommend it. Soul Sacrifice and Soul Sacrifice Delta. From the mind of Kaiji Inafune comes some of the craziest shit you could possibly imagine. This is a game where you go around sacrificing your little, what's the word I'm looking for, offerings, in order to fight giant monsters with them. You can do things like make your arm into a gigantic rock arm that you can punch people with. You can make weapons out of things. You can make eggs that just explode, and the stone fists come from the ground. You can bring up gigantic monsters from the bottom of the screen. You can do things like heals, and it's a team game, so you can bring along like 4 people on one mission to fight like all these giant monsters. There's a ton of different giant monsters. I'm just talking about Soul Sacrifice right now. And Soul Sacrifice, unfortunately, there's not that much else to it in the main Soul Sacrifice game, because all you had to do after you beat the main story was go through the Avalon packs, which are over pretty damn quickly. And then there's not that much else to do, really, just grind. But thankfully, Soul Sacrifice Delta added a ton of shit to that. Like, Soul Sacrifice Delta, all it had was just the main story, which was a really good story, by the way, with a lot of lore and a lot of, like, really cool monster backgrounds and backgrounds for the entire world, and customizing your character and all that with all sorts of stat boosts and all that. But, I mean, like, other than just the Avalon packs and stuff, that's where Soul Sacrifice ended. Soul Sacrifice Delta added a lot of stuff. Like, it added a bazaar, which, like, excuse me, it lets you add a lot of stuff, like, it adds a lot of stuff like the bazaar ledger, where you can go to equip bonuses to your character that last for a few turns, like XP bonuses or stuff like that you get for slaying a lot of monsters. So there's a reason to get your kill count up really high. It adds Alice's Maze, which is an infinite dungeon, so if you want to grind for lots of offerings or lots of points, you can go and do that. And there's a lot more new content as well, like there's blank pages that are procedurally generated quests where you can earn new accessories for your character, and there's new story missions, and there's a lot of new Avalon packs. So like every Avalon pack is new, and they've been adding new packs ever since, and there's a ton of them. So when you go and what's the word I'm looking for? If you're coming from Soul Sacrifice or Soul Sacrifice Delta, almost everything will be new to you. So yeah, it's a really good upgrade. If you're looking to buy something outright, buy Soul Sacrifice Delta outright. Don't worry about playing Soul Sacrifice. It's the same game, except Soul Sacrifice Delta is basically a standalone expansion. And it is worth the money. It is worth looking at. There's a demo too. Sound Shapes. A very simplistic 2D platformer where you go through and collect musical notes, which actually starts a music track in the background. And sometimes it can sound really, really fun and nice. And there's a level creation suite along with it too, which lets you do a lot of level creation with a lot of different music and beats and all that. And there's a ton of good levels as well. So, you know, I recommend it. Just, it's pretty big. It's like a gig after patching. It's like a gig and a half after patching, actually. So, you know, be careful with that, but otherwise, go have fun. It's really nice. Sparkle and Sparkle 2. These are basically Zuma clones. You fire a orb from the center of the screen into a series of connected orbs. And you get 3 or more together, they disappear. You can get pickups by getting more than a few together at a time, and there's a bunch of different levels you can go do, and there's like some whole big backstory about recovering some ancient artifacts in both of the stories that I really couldn't give a toss about. But the base gameplay itself is perfectly fine, and I would recommend both of these. And there is also a free demo, so, you know, go try that out. Spelunky on Vita. I wanted to do a video on this, but I didn't. You want to know why? Because I fucking suck. This is a really, really good platformer where it's procedurally generated, where you never see the same game twice. And there's a lot of different unlockables and stuff to have, but you need to be really, really good at platformers. You need to be really, really slow. You need to learn the game, and you need to be really, really good at just, you know, reacting to things if you want to stand a chance of surviving. But people do, and people find lots of satisfaction in this game. There is a demo. Go play the demo. Trust me. Spy Hunter. God, I actually had a lot of hopes for this. I actually bought this outright the day it launched, because this is like one of the very first games I ever did a video on. So it was like, this is like the sort of game I want to protect people from. It was a really good idea, but it's just so dull and drab. You just sit there like doing the same race for 10 minutes with absolutely nothing happening at times. And then something does happen and it's just boring as shit anyway. It's just boring, 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 boring. And it could have been so good too, but they just missed the mark. It's a shame. I'll come back to Star Wars Pinball when we get the Zen Pinball. Star Drone Extreme. I'm sorry about the dog. There's nothing I can do about it. Star Drone Extreme is a... I don't know how to describe it. It's like a slingshot puzzler where you have to slingshot your ship between different areas of a level, and you have to slingshot it back and forth between different areas, and it's really hard. I didn't really like it that much. I really had a really hard time because it felt really imprecise, especially since it's controlled only by touchscreens. So, yeah, I'm not a fan. Starlight, well, there's a demo, you can play it. Starlight Inception! I kickstarted this. Imagine how bad that makes me feel. I'm happy I only paid $15 for it. For some reason, they put the Kickstarter pledges up for $15, but then they charged $23 for this. It had a lot of potential, it really did, but unfortunately, it kind of fell flat on its ass out the gate. There were massive, massive problems. Like, the game was too slow, the graphics were terrible, the frame rate was terrible. One of the levels had a solid white wall instead of fog. They did patch some of these out. I will admit, they patched some of the problems out. But too little, too late, and the game is still kind of boring anyway to begin with. Fucking dog, I wish it'd shut up. But, yeah, there's, I would not suggest buying this at all. $22 is way, way too much for that. It's not worth 10. I'm sorry. And I kickstarted it. I saw the potential, and the potential didn't come through. So, yeah. Stealth Inc. Clone in the Dark, 2D platformer, which is based around puzzling in shadows. You have to figure out how to get through all these levels by using light and shadow to your benefit, trying to avoid getting hit by enemies and stuff like that. And you're timed, so it's a very speedrunny sort of game. Very, very enjoyable. I do quite like it. I just suck at it, and it is a good game. It really is. I do like it a lot, and there's a couple of add-ons you can get for it as well. So, you know, good game. SteamWorld Dig. This is a game like that reminds me of Terraria in a way. You dig underground into a mine, and you have to dig slowly down and find all sorts of upgrades and find lots of money and resources that you take back up to the surface in order to get more stuff. And you keep going up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's fun. It's a fun game. It only lasts for a few hours, but you can replay it. It is procedurally generated. So, yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I mean, like, for the amount of playtime I got out of it and the amount of fun I had doing it, even though I was kind of, like, giving in to my autistic tendencies, yeah, I still enjoyed SteamWorld Dig a lot, and I would recommend it. Stick It to the Man. Stick It to the Man is a 2D puzzle platformer where you take all sorts of different stickers and you apply them to different objects in order to have different weird effects. To me, I didn't really enjoy this game that much because some of the stickers that I needed to find were really, really hard to find, at least in the first couple of levels, at least for me. And the sense of humor on it is not really that pleasant. I mean, like, this is just me. It's weird video game referential humor and just, like, so out there that it just comes around and not being funny. I don't enjoy it. A lot of people did. A lot of people gave this really good reviews, but it just, no, not my thing. Street Fighter Cross Tekken. This is probably the closest thing you're going to get to a Street Fighter game on Vita because the middleware called Scaleform, which is used in Ultra Street Fighter 4 and all the other Street Fighter 4 games, actually doesn't have support for Vita anymore. At least they stopped support for it. So if you want a Street Fighter 4 game on Vita, go talk to Autodesk. Tell them we want Scaleform back on Vita. But yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a fighting game where Street Fighter and Tekken characters collide, and it's a Street Fighter game through and through though. So everybody adapts to the Street Fighter formula where everybody has Street Fighter style moves, and it's a 2-on-2 game where you can tag in new combatants, and it's a fun game, but there's a couple of things that are a little bit wrong with it. Like, there's a couple of things that are too easy to pull off, and sometimes the AI feels a bit weird, and the gem system where you basically just have a bunch of power-ups you can pull out of nowhere is kind of annoying. I don't like it that much. But again, this is the closest thing you're going to get to a Street Fighter game on Vita outside of something like one of the PSP Alpha games. So, you know, take your pick. Sumioni Demon Arts. This game is repetitive as shit. I had enough trouble keeping my eyes open for the first time that I played through this. It's a game where you are an ink demon. And you have to guide him through 2D levels where you draw, like, ink lines on the ground and in the air, and you draw through enemies to attack them and stuff like that. And it's not that pleasant because I mean, like, it's okay for the first couple of levels, but you have to play through the entire game once to get one ending, and then you have to play through the entire game again to get to another ending. And if you want to get to, like, another ending and you accidentally fuck up on one stage where you have to do it, you end up getting sent on another ending and you have to start the whole game over again. So, you know, it gets really repetitive really fast. I don't like it that much. But there is a demo, so if it really clicks with you, you can pick it up. Sunflowers. Really simple game from the same people who made Flying Hamster, where you have to protect your flowers from rain clouds while defending them from thunder clouds. Well, you have to drop rain on them by firing a sun into a cloud, which drops it onto the plants. And there's a lot of different plants to find. It's like Pokemon, where you have a lot of different things to collect, and it's fun. Like for $3-4, absolutely, go ahead. Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits. It's got a demo. Go try the demo, but. This is a game where you control a monkey down a series of increasingly difficult courses. And you have to collect lots of bananas to get extra lives and all that. And there's a bunch of party games you can play as well. The controls are kind of what kills this for me, though, because on the analog stick, it feels a little bit weird. It feels like it's really easy to go forward and backward and really hard to go left and right. Maybe... Drink. Crap, I'm out of water. This isn't going to be pleasant. But yeah, you continue on through, and the controls just feel a little bit iffy. I don't know if it's a Super Monkey Ball thing, where it's easier to move to forward and back than it is right and left. But it makes the game harder to control than it's worth playing, to be perfectly honest with you. But again, demo, go try it for yourself. Super Stardust Delta, really high quality twin stick shooter. It's based on singular planets where you fly down and you have two different types of weapons you swap between at will. And there's lots of different enemies that can only be defeated with one type. And you go back and forth on different planets. And there's lots of scoring to do. And there's a lot of different game modes to play in the DLC. And it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. If you don't have it already, you probably should. Super Frog HD, 2D platformer remake of a game that came out back in like the 80s. It's a really, really simple game, but it has a lot of secrets, and it's kind of fun to play just to explore the levels and all that, although it's very easy to get lost. But then again, it's a remaster of a game from like 1980s, so what do you want? It's also got a level editor, but unfortunately that level editor, like Stealth Inc. and Mousecraft. Where the hell is Mousecraft? Why is this listing not updating? What the shit? Yeah, but I'll go back and talk about Mousecraft in a second. As soon as I remember a game, I'll have to go back and talk about it. What the hell is up with the listing on this store? I don't fucking know. But yeah, Super Frog HD ain't bad. I just don't know why they bother including level editors in games that don't have online sharing, because like you're making levels for yourself, but you have to like play the levels to make sure they work yourself, and then you've done for yourself. I don't know. Mousecraft, while I'm here and I can talk about it, you have to actually search for it to look through the new releases. I don't know why they won't update this area. This is just fucking retarded. Mousecraft is basically combining Lemmings and Tetris, where you send a bunch of mice to their doom, but if you drop a few Tetris blocks in their path, they'll be able to collect a few things. And those few things include these little gems that you need to get through to the next set of levels. There's also a bunch of power-ups you can use that do different things like TNT and platforms that allow the mice to bounce off them. It's not a bad game, but it's $15, and $15 is a little bit too much for me. When it goes down to 10, sure. Supremacy MMA Unrestricted. This is like the one game I've always been curious about, but I've never gotten around to playing it, so I can't tell you anything about it. I'm sorry. Surge Deluxe, a upgraded version of the PlayStation mobile game Surge by Future Lab. Future Lab are absolutely fantastic when it comes to game design. This is a very simple game. You just match different, the same color together a few times, and then you can match them with multipliers and color switching, and you match the ones with stars to get more points, and you have to let the air vents out to let it go. And this is an action puzzler, so you've always got the time ticking down on you, and it's a very fast, furious, and fun game, and I really do enjoy it a lot, and it's $5. You can't lose. The Swapper. This just came out recently, didn't it? It's a puzzle platformer where you control a guy with the Swapper who can make clones of himself, who can use this to get up high distances and move long distances in a real jiffy, and use this to solve puzzles related to just all sorts of different little things. And you collect these orbs, and the more orbs you collect, the more you can move on in the game. It's a very, very fun game. It will rack your brain. It really will. Just remember that using the swapper can actually slow down time, so you'll need that to get past one of the early game puzzles. What's this? Sweet Fuse. There's the slide collection. What the hell is it doing down there? The Slide Collection, PS Vita. Really good ports. They all run very well. From what I've read and what I've played at the first game, they all run really well. They all look fine. They all sound fine. They're all missing a couple of sound clips. Like, all of the ports are missing sound clips because, you know, you can't do sound clips for clips you don't have. Like, using the rear touchpad for stuff. You can't use, you can't get clips for that from a game that was made back in 2001, 2002, 2004, whatever. So, you know, this is actually a really good port, and it's, you know, if you've never played the Slide Collection before, no reason not to pick that version up. We're almost there, guys. Just two sections to go. Table ice hockey. Could not get that to work, no matter how hard I... Wait, did I actually buy this? No, I didn't. I thought... Was that table mini golf? Was it table mini golf I had trouble getting working? Come on. Yes, it was. So I had trouble getting table mini golf working, and table ice hockey I haven't played. So they're both AR games, so, you know, they don't work that well. Tabletop racing. I just did a video on this just a couple of days ago, but this is a really good racing game. This used to be a free-to-play game on Android, but they released it for like $8 on the PlayStation Store. Really, really good racing game. Really good port of a racing game. There's a lot of content. There's a bunch of stuff to do, and you may feel a little bit weaned off it by the fact that there's a bunch of coins here that you want to buy. Don't worry about it. Like, seriously, if you want to support the game, that 1 million coins there will get you pretty much everything in the game. Like, almost everything in the game you'll be able to buy using that. I actually got 6 million coins because of a bug with the press code I redeemed, but, I mean, even before I got those 6 million coins, I was playing the game fairly, and I did not get screwed in any way, shape, or form. Really good port of the game, and it's got online multiplayer too, and a bunch of content, so please pick it up. Please support Ripstone, and please support Playrise. Tabletop Tanks. It's interesting. It's an AR game where you put down a couple of AR cards and they determine the boundaries of the area, and you can rotate your view by physically moving the Vita, and you have to move tanks in order to destroy things. But unfortunately, this tends to get in the way more than it does actually help the game. Kind of disappointing, really. I really wish that it allowed you to play a version of the game where you didn't need an AR card, but this was back before that technology was put into the Vita, so unfortunately nothing we can really do about that. Tales from Space Marine Blobs Attack. This came out the same day as the Vita in the United States. Really, really good platformer from the same people who made Guacamelee. Really, really good. Lots of references in the background. Some really good platforming challenges. There's a lot to do. You get like 5 hours out of it for $8. That's a pretty good deal, especially when it's as good as Tales from Space. The platforming feels really good. There's a lot of sucking up random objects in order to get bigger, in order to do more puzzles. It's really, really enjoyable. I love it a lot. Tearaway. Just like Persona 4, I don't know how much more I could jerk this game off more than anyone else has, but seriously, this game is fantastic. I did a video on it that shows off the pig section. The pig riding section is the best part of this game by far. Go watch the video. Search my channel for Tearaway gameplay, and then watch that video for the pig section. If you don't want to pick up Tearaway after that, I don't know what would convince you otherwise. Terraria. I'm spitting on my Vita screen, god damn it. Terraria. It's a 2D, well, you could say it's a Metroidvania, where it's a Metroidvania combined with Minecraft, where you dig down into these deep caverns, get resources and minerals, create tools, create weapons, create all sorts of cool little things, and it's got a lot of different ways to control it. Like, you can control with the touchpad, the rear touchscreen, or the touchscreen, the rear touchpad, or the analog stick. There's a lot of content. They added the 1.2 content for free, absolutely free, because it started out at like 1.1, but then they added 1.2 in a free patch, and there's so much to do in it. Like I've put like a good 10 or 15 hours into this. I'm not even halfway, so I don't even know what that would say. And it's got multiplayer too, with up to I think it's 8 people, and it's really, really fun to play with friends. Trust me. Yeah, really good game. Would recommend. $15, absolutely worth it. And see, we've got a demo. Impossible Games, a PSP game, so we're going to skip that. Atrocious Montezuma Blitz and Arena. Blitz is a match 3 game where you have a minute to get as many points as possible, and you have to get a lot of power-ups by, merging 4 at a time and 5 at a time, and you can buy power-ups after every match by getting gems from the game, and you use them to buy power-ups. A lot of people tend to get hit with a bug where they get 1 million crystals for free, and then they just use that to buy everything and just have fun with the game. I got hit with that bug too. But still, it's still a lot of fun to play otherwise. lots of fun to just see how high a score you can get in a minute or two, and just, you know, swapping out power-ups and seeing how good you can go. Treasures of Montezuma Arena is actually a Puzzle Quest clone. For some reason, it's not here either. Come on, guys. It's not here either, and it's a good little arena game. I played it back when it came out in Europe. I'm not going to do a video on it because it's free to play. I don't like doing videos on free to play games. And it's a fun game as well. Again, they're both free to play. I would recommend you try both of them out. Thomas Was Alone, PS Vita. It's a game about blocks that have... It's actually a game about AI that has personalities. And the way the story is told is really, really simple. And it's by Mike Bithell on Curve Studios. And it's a really, really good game. And it kind of makes you feel for these little squares. And it's so odd. It's so weird. It makes me shiver sometimes. But yeah, Mike Bithell's bringing out his next game on Vita, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thomas Was Alone is really good, and I do recommend it. Tone Attacks. It's a Space Invaders clone with stat upgrades. That's basically all I've got to say about it. But it's at least it's a really good Space Invaders clone. It's really difficult. It gets harder and harder as time goes on, and you know you have to get better and better. And thankfully, it's got that thing like TXK does, which I'll be coming on to in a minute, where if you get to a specific point with a specific set of upgrades, it will save that progress so you can go back and try and do better, so you don't have to go through the entire game again. Really good. Really good copy of, well, not copy, but clone of Space Invaders. Makes me miss Space Invaders Extreme and Space Invaders Extreme 2. Those were fantastic games. I wish Space Invaders Extreme 3 comes out on Vita. But anyway, moving along. Toro's Friend Network. You want friends? This is the best way to do it. It's a weird free-to-play game where you go through and... Tomba 2 is a PS1 game, by the way. It's a weird game where you go through and you add friends and you have them do work. It's kind of like one of those Facebook games where you just have your friends do work to level up your stuff, and you use it to go through this dungeon, and it's a bit iffy. I mean, like me, I don't have any problems getting friends, but that's because I run a YouTube channel with 10,000 subscribers. And I imagine if you want friends to play with, Toro's Friend Network might be your best bet. Total Recoil. It's a two-stick shooter. A really, really good two-stick shooter. It's a $2.50. So, you know, you lose absolutely nothing by checking this out. That's chump change. And you go through all these levels as these troopers, and you shoot stuff, and you shoot things like tanks, and you pick up different weapons, and you go through different levels and all that. They're all procedurally generated. Well, some of them are anyway. The survival levels, the quest levels are pre-generated. But yeah, it's really, really good. And you can go through the game and earn a lot of bucks. I would recommend going and buying the Bucks multiplayer like right off the bat, and the gas mask too, because they make the game a ton easier. But at the same time, that keeps it underneath $5. So you know, I do recommend Total Recoil. It's not as good as games like Dead Nation or Super Stardust Delta, but it's still really good. Touch My Katamari. This is a Katamari game. That's all I have to say about it. It feels like Katamari. It plays like Katamari. It's just not as good as any of the other Katamari games. It's the same old, same old. But, you know, there's Treasures of Montezuma Arena. God damn it. Tukiden, The Age of Demons. Hunting game developed by the guys who made Dynasty Warriors. This is, you have a ton of different quests to do with a lot of different Oni to fight and a lot of different weapons to craft in a relatively linear order. The game opens up a lot when you get to the end game, and you can craft like whatever weapons you please. Like there's like 6 different weapons you can get for every category. You can craft whatever one you like, and there's a lot of different things you can do, like all sorts of different quests and missions. And there's a fair few different Oni, but not that many. They tend to get repetitive after a while. Omega Force is working on an expansion called Tukiden Extreme, which will probably keep which will probably add a few new weapons and a few new monsters and all that. So, you know, if you want to wait for that, you can. TXK. TXK is my favorite digital download game on the Vita, bar none. It is absolutely brilliant. A masterclass of game design and a masterclass of visual design. It looks absolutely fucking brilliant on any screen that you put it on. It is so good. It is... Watch it on OLED Vita. I've got a video on my channel, TXK Gameplay. You'll find it just searching that. I've got a video on my channel of it. Absolutely brilliantly looking game. Absolutely brilliantly playing game. It's a arcadey shooter in the vein of the old Tempest 2000 games, because this is a direct sequel to them. Really, really fucking good. I swear to God. This is one of the best games on the Vita, bar none. I just wish it was not going to PS4 in the future, because it probably is with Project Morpheus. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, not here anymore. Got removed because the license is expired, but I mean, if you can find a print copy for like 10 to 20 bucks, sure, go for it. It's a 3-on-3 fighting game where you control lots of different Marvel heroes or Capcom game stars. Anything from characters from Street Fighter to people like good people from Resident Evil. Unfortunately, there's 2 DLC characters and DLC costumes that you're never going to be able to get again, which is a fucking shame. It's like, why do you not negotiate these licenses for one-time unlimited uses for these specific games? I have no fucking idea, you dumbasses. Uncharted Golden Abyss. Really good Uncharted game from the people who make Siphon Filter. Really, really good. I mean, the touch stuff is kind of annoying, but you get used to it after a while, and the game, like, controls really well. It's better than Uncharted 1, in my honest opinion, and I've played through Uncharted 1. Really, really good. Really good. It looks amazing. This was a launch title for the Vita, and these days it doesn't look as good, but it still looks really good, and the gunplay is still really satisfying, and as I said before, the touch control stuff is a bit heavy-handed, but it's still really good. It's a good prequel story for Drake as well. Yeah, buy it. Trust me, really good. Fight for Fortune is a card game. It's a bit weird. I say that when there's a full-on Uncharted experience, and now there's a bloody card game coming for it, where if you play through Uncharted Golden Abyss, you actually get free bonuses to cards in Fight for Fortune, and that's what made me stop playing, to tell you the truth, because I felt like if I went up against anyone who was playing with a full Platinum trophy for Uncharted Golden Abyss, I wouldn't stand a fucking chance. So I just kind of stopped playing. There's expansion packs you can get which add people from Among Thieves and what's that down there? Drake's Deception. Yeah, so Uncharted 2 and 3. It's just, yeah, I'm not a fan of the idea that you can get more powerful cards from Golden Abyss just by finishing that game. It feels like you should work for it. Unit 13. Unit 13 is a score attack shooter from the people who made SOCOM. This was actually their final game before they shut down. It's a shame because this is actually really good. It's a portable shooter, third-person shooter, where you take cover and, you do all that. But you also get score. And depending on what character you're using, your method of getting score is different. Like, for one character, it might be killing people. For another people, it might be shooting out things like security cameras. For another character, it might be using things like shotguns or killing 3 or 4 people in a row will give him a bigger score boost. Stuff like that. There's a demo here that lets you play, like, a ton of different missions with all the different people, because they've got what's called a procedural missions, where you can, depending on the character and the level you pick, you get a different mission every time for every character. So you get a ton of content to play. And there's like 4 different mission types, like speed and stealth and elite, where you go through where you only have a specific health bar that doesn't regenerate unless you're at a checkpoint. It's really good. I do like it. I recommend it. And the demo is there if you want to try it out. Urban Trial Freestyle. This game rips off Trials, but there is some, like, benefit to it. Like, in Trials, the idea is just to get to the end in as little faults as possible. In this game, you get score by doing things that, like, doing these challenges, like longest jump and a speed check, like, where you go through at a specific speed, and the highest speed you get is your score. And there's also, like, time trials, obviously, like trials. But the mode where you do all these little individual challenges where it creates your score based off how well you do is actually really original, and I actually really like that aspect of Urban Trials. It actually adds a fair amount to the 2D motorcycle game that I was actually starting to get a little bit bored of. But Trials Fusion came along, and it's really, really good. Unfortunately, it's not on Vita. I wish it was on Vita, or at least Trials Frontier, except they should take out all the crappy free-to-play stuff. Valhalla Knights 3. It's an RPG from Xseed. It's got a lot of boobs and ass in it. If that turns you off, go away now. But, yeah, it's got a lot of TNA, but it's also got a lot of stack grinding. It's a 6-on-6 party game where you can have 7 on 7 actually, I'm sorry. So you can have 7 people in your party, and you can command them all around. You can upgrade them all individually. All the there's like individual skill trees for every class, but everybody can specialize in like 3 different classes. So it's like, you can have a lot of different specializations going for you. And it's really fun to play around with all the customization and all the stat boosts and all that. But there's a lot of grinding involved, a ton of grinding involved. So be ready for that. Also, just as a note, if you do plan to get this game, which I do like it a lot and I do recommend it, only if you don't mind TNA and you don't mind grinding. But if you do get it, fill up your party as soon as you possibly can. Do not wait. Get the full 6 and get working on them immediately. Velocity Ultra. This is Future Lab's biggest game, and they're releasing Velocity 2X next month. I actually knew about it like a few weeks ago, but well, a few days ago actually. But yeah, I've been playing Velocity 2X, and Velocity 2X is still good. But this is Velocity Ultra. This is a spaceship game where it's more like a puzzle than a sort of shooter, where you go through these levels slowly, and you have to figure out the best way to kill everything on screen, and you have to collect all the pickups and kill everything and get to the end as fast as possible in the most precise set of movements and measurements you could possibly imagine. And you will get screwed. You will get screwed hard. Trust me on this. So, I do recommend it, but then again, it might be good to wait for Velocity 2X, and of course, you can also go and try the demo. I do quite like Velocity Ultra, though. It does turn into a bit of a puzzle later on, but, you know, it's still very good. And Velocity 2X is looking to have some really good improvements, but I can't talk about that until September 2nd, I think. So, you'll be waiting a while for that. I'm sorry. Virtua Tennis 4 World Tour Edition. Excellent. I love this game. I think it's really good. It's a tennis game, obviously, but it's a port of a console game where you go around this gigantic board game where the amount of steps you take determines what you land on and what you do throughout your career. And if you don't plan out your career carefully, you might end up doing something you don't want to, which is actually kind of an interesting facet to have. And the tennis itself plays really, really well. I like it a lot. It requires a lot of skill and strategy. Although the AI can tend to be a bit of a douchebag at times. Like, there was this one time I was in the very final tournament in the normal difficulty mode, and I would play, like, one round, and the AI would do really well against me, and then it would win, and then it would win one round, then we switch, and then I would start playing, and I'd start winning again, and then it would get better again the next round, then I'd get better again the next round. It was really annoying, but, I mean, it's still a really good game, and I still recommend it, nevertheless. Final section! Holy shit, we're almost done. The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead Season 2. Very good novel games. I say novel games in the sense that you don't really have any control on what's going on during the story most of the time. But at the same time, it's a really good ride. It's nice to sit back and feel like you've made at least some little difference to the way you have experienced The Walking Dead as a thing. And even at the end of the game, it brings, like, mention to this by bringing up, like, stat charts of the choices made that everyone made in every round. They're made up of individual episodes. Like, The Walking Dead has 5 episodes, and 400 Days, which was a DLC little expansion pack. And The Walking Dead Season 2 has 4 episodes, with the 5th one coming soon. I really want episode 5 to come out, because they ended episode 4 on a really bad cliffhanger, and I really, really want to see what the hell happened. When Vikings Attack. This is a game I feel like didn't get that much attention, and relatively undue ignorance on their part. So this game is really fun. What you do is you pick up objects that are lying on the ground and you throw them at other bandits of Vikings, and they get knocked the hell out. It's really, really fun. It's all physics-based, so you throw that donut, it lands on the ground, bounces, and knocks the shit out of them. They throw a car at you. You can throw just anything that you can pick up off the ground at them. It's really, really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. You can even pick up stuff in midair. You can throw stuff like bombs that convert them to your side, and yeah, it's fun as hell. The one thing that's unfortunate, though, this game has multiplayer, but it doesn't have any multiplayer bots, and nobody plays the multiplayer anymore. So, yeah, it's so disappointing. I absolutely love this game, and one of these days I'd love to get a multiplayer game going. And they actually released a multiplayer-only based expansion, which only has, like, multiplayer maps. That's so disappointing. Oh, well, it has Invasion, but Invasion only works on one map. It would be better if it worked on all the multiplayer maps. But, yeah, it's really a shame that they didn't make AI bots for this mode. It's a shame. I really wish they did. Wipeout 2048. Absolutely brilliant racer, but you need the reflexes of a hawk to play it. It's really, really fast, especially in the later chapters, and you get new ships, you upgrade, well, you don't upgrade your ships, but you upgrade to a different ship. You play through a lot of different events with a lot of different things. There's a lot of combat, and there's a lot of racing, and there's a zone mode where you're literally just going through, like, at the speed of light, and your speed is ever so slowly increasing. You gotta stay alive for as long as possible. It's really, really nice. It's still one of the best looking games on Vita by far. It looks absolutely excellent. And they added all the tracks from Wipeout HD and Wipeout HD Fury, which, oddly enough, Wipeout HD and Wipeout HD Fury are all tracks from the PSP games. And Wipeout Pulse is actually available on this as well, and it runs at 60 FPS. On Wipeout 2048, it runs at like a 30 or something. It's smooth, but it runs to 30. On On PSP, it runs at 60, and it's really, really smooth and nice. But still, Wibo 2048, highly recommended. It's less than $15. Worms Revolution Extreme. What do I have to say about this? I like Worms a lot. I like to think I'm good at Worms, but I'm really not. I know some of the people who are working on Worms Armageddon, they are really, really nice people. I know the person who is literally the best Super Sheep player in the world. And it is, I will admit, Worms Armageddon was one of my favorite games back when I was a kid. Worms Revolution Extreme doesn't live up to it, but it comes fairly close. It's a 3D version of the 2D game. So yeah, it's like in 2D, but it's in 3D. And you have things like water and stuff, which you can flood tunnels with, and you can use different weapons for different things. And it's an artillery game, I'll put it that way. So it's an artillery where you have worms and you have to fire weapons at each other. And there's 4 different classes of worms. I just stick with the regular worms all the time, but they all have their own abilities and stuff. And it's a fun iteration of Worms, and it works okay. The frame rate tends to drop like a rock if you zoom out too far, but otherwise it works okay. Other than that, I'm not really sure what to tell you. I wish they put Open Warfare on PSP on the Vita, because Open Warfare was the best, like, portable version. Open Warfare 2 on PSP was like the best portable version of Worms there's ever been. WRC 3, I played this. It's a good rally game. It's enjoyable. I do like playing through it a fair bit. Unfortunately, there's no real campaign mode. WRC 4 came out very recently and did remedy that, though. So if you want a good campaign mode, you probably want to go with WRC 4. But the driving itself is really satisfying. The graphics aren't fantastic, but this is from the same people who made Mud and MXGP and MotoGP. So they're not really that good at graphics, but they do graphics that do the job. And I'm kind of happy to... I do like WRC, and, you know, WRC 4, if it's like WRC 3, it's probably worth picking up when it hits like $30 or 20, but yeah. I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. Ys Memories to Salsetta. It's an action RPG done by Falcom and Xseed. It's really good, really, really good. You play as 3 different characters, and they all help out in the battles, and you have to go around this gigantic world and talk to people, learn people, and attack, and you attack people with 3 different types of weaponry. Like, everybody has 3 different types of weaponry. You have to swap between characters very frequently in order to get the most damage in. And you got things like skills and really powerful stuff you can do, and it looks good, it plays good, it plays great, and the music is excellent. I love the soundtrack for Ys. Look up Ys Memories of Salsetta gameplay to get more of a taste of how that game works. Seriously, it's really good. X-Blaze Code Embryo. I don't like it. It's a visual novel set 150 years before the first BlazBlue game, so they're in roughly the same universe. I really don't like it at all, because there's this one system called the toy system where I don't know how to do this without spoiling, but basically the toy system, you have to keep a really close eye on it throughout the game, and if you don't, you are pretty much doomed. So yeah, it's just having to keep such a close eye on it doesn't remedy any of the story problems. Like, there's like some of the characters, I don't feel like I know anything about the characters even after getting one actual ending of the game, which is kind of odd. And it's just, yeah, it's just kind of disappointing. I was hoping it'd be better. And they're actually making another one, which means I'm kind of going to have to suffer more, aren't I? God damn it. Z-Run. It's painfully average. Painfully average. You run through these streets of zombies trying to take them out and get to the end of each level, and it's boring as sin. The weapons don't feel anywhere near satisfying to use. It feels like you get cheated out of a win several times because you just get piled on by several zombies and there's absolutely nothing you can do. The stat upgrades are boring, the graphics are boring, and it's just boring. Do not recommend. Zen Pinball 2. I like Pinball Arcade a lot more than Zen Pinball 2, but Zen Pinball 2 does not have its redeeming features. It is a lot easier, so people who have a hard time with Pinball Arcade might have an easy time with Zen Pinball 2. And Zen Pinball 2 actually lets you try every single table for free, and Pinball Arcade does not let you do that. So, it is a lot easier to just try all the tables here, find out what you like, and then purchase whatever you please. And I do like that. I like that a lot. And there are some really good tables here with some really good gimmicks. Like, the Pinball Arcade doesn't really go anything outside the realm of realistic. It uses nothing but realistic tables. All these tables are originals created for this game, so they can all use software gimmicks. Like Epic Quest actually keeps your progress through every time you play the table, and you get to play just like more and more and upgrade your character. And there are games like Plants vs Zombies, where there's like just a lot of different things. Like the zombies can come up from the table and slowly approach you, and you have to shoot them to get them away. These tables are fun to play. I liked Pinball Arcade better because it just feels better to me. But that isn't to say that Zen Pinball 2 doesn't have redeeming value, and considering it's free to try, go try it. Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward. One of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely brilliant continuation to 999, 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors, or something like that. It goes something like that. You really do need to play 999 before you play this one if you want the best experience. And by the best, I mean the best. Half the stuff that comes in from... half the stuff that's in Virtue's Last Reward is coming back from 999. You will feel kind of lost sometimes. I've heard a lot of people say they're having no trouble getting through it, but I've also heard a couple of people say they kind of got lost because they feel like they should know half the stuff, and they really should. But seriously, go play 999, then come play this. 2 of my favorite games of all time, and they are absolutely fucking brilliant. I don't know how you're going to get 999 without doing something illegal to get it, but on Amazon, I think they sell it on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Let me put it this way. If you buy the game and then use a DS emulator to emulate it while you're waiting for the game to come, I don't have a problem with that. That's reasonable in my eyes. Zombie Tycoon 2, Brainhole's Revenge. This is like the only real-time strategy game on Vita, and it's kind of crap to tell you the truth. I only managed to play a few levels before I got sick of it. You only control like a bunch of different units at once, like a couple of preset defined units, and then you just control them around trying to take out all the humans, and then another zombie boss comes along and you have to try and take him out as well. And it's just, it doesn't control that well, at least in my opinion. I don't like the controls. They're not that good. And it's just, yeah, it's just, I don't like it. This game sits at the bottom of Metacritic. I'm not sure if that's entirely fair, but something about this game just rubs me the wrong way entirely, and I don't know what it is. I would not recommend it, even for just 10 bucks. 1001 Spikes. Oh, for God's sake. This is a really, really fucking hard game. It's if you took Super Meat Boy and turned it up to about, I don't know, 27, you go through these levels as this guy, and you have to complete the levels while you have to go get a key, and then you have to go complete the levels. And every single trap is laid out in front of you, but that doesn't mean it isn't insanely difficult to predict when it's all safe to move and all that. Some of the traps and stages in this game are so hard. It's ridiculously hard to get through some of the levels in this game. Yes, I actually did buy it, and I didn't do a video on it because I was like, I'm not going to be able to show this video off in the way that would be fair to it. Because for people who are looking for something that's stupidly challenging and stupidly punishing, 1001 Spikes is for you. But that's a really big but. Do not buy that if you get even remotely frustrated at video games, because seriously, you will not go anywhere if you buy that and you try and yeah. Well, that was every PlayStation Vita game on the store, but I still have that sinking feeling that I missed one or two. Let's just go backwards through here while I just say a few things. It's been a long ride, hasn't it? It's been just over 2 years at this point. It was like 2 months ago was my 2-year anniversary, and it's been an honor. It really has. I've enjoyed doing this so much for you people, and I really hope this video actually encodes properly, because otherwise I just wasted 3 hours of my time. But it's just, I've been doing this for so long, and so many people think that my content is worth watching. Thank you to all of you. Seriously, it's been... Deception 4! Unbelievable! Why is that not there yet? That came out months ago! Deception 4. It's a game where you are a girl with butt cleavage, and I never thought I'd hear myself say those words, but butt cleavage actually describes it pretty well. Deception 4, you go around these 3D arenas and you place traps down for people, and you knock them into combos, and you combo them into things like environmental hazards or more traps. It's a really, really interesting concept. They kind of screw it up, though, because some of the AI enemies are really, really hard to take out because they start to remove your traps or know where they are. And then there's the fact that you might have to do like 3 or 4 battles in a row without being able to save and quit. So you have to do them all in a row, and you can't like change your traps mid-battle to, you can't rewind to the beginning of a battle with new traps. You have to go all the way back to the beginning of a series of like 3 battles just to go back to try and fight that boss you couldn't beat. So, if you're willing to put up with something like that for a really original concept with a lot of fun traps to play around with, then please feel free to pick this up. But if not, I would suggest avoiding it. Back to what I was saying. Really big privilege that I've been able to get 10,000 subscribers and show you all my opinions on video games. I never thought I'd be able to actually do that. Back when I did this, back when I was just, you know, back when I was 19 years old, I only turned 21 like a week ago. And just, I never would have thought that after 120 something subscribers on my first weekly update, I never thought I would ever get this far. And, well, I did, and I'm, like, eternally grateful to all of you for giving me this massive opportunity and giving me something that'll really pad out my resume. And, you know, all I can really do from this point forward is go up. Really, like, is there really anything else I can do other than go, like, straight upwards and continue getting bigger and hopefully getting more people and getting more attention? And, yeah, but again, this is all thanks to you, the viewers, and really... yeah, by the way, Star Wars Pinball is a pack for Zen Pinball 2, and they are actually some really good tables, and I would recommend you try them at least once. But, yeah, it's you, the fans, who need to be thanked the most, and really, thank you so much for sticking with me all this time. Thank you so much for sticking through me through all my random rambling, like, all the rambling I do over games, and all the ums and ahs you hear me say and all that shit. I hope I've gotten better. I really do hope that I've gotten better for you, for your content. And yeah, please keep watching. I will do my best to continue being the best I can be for you, the viewers, and I just hope you keep watching until I'm no longer worth your time, and I hope I never become not worth your time. This has been Blue Maxima. I would appreciate it if you shared this video around, because seriously, a lot of work has gone into this, and by a lot of work, I mean my throat really fucking hurts right now. So, yeah, look, there's Mousecraft. It's right there, but it's not in the all games section. Someone really needs to go and give Sony a slap on the face for that. Good lord. But, yeah. Thanks for all your support over the past 2 years. It's been a pleasure, and I hope it continues onwards for as long as humanly possible. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.